turn the recording on. And then I gotta, this is not how you do this. Replay, import. Hana? Phew. Okay.
Ready for battle.
I'm gonna pause this momentarily. Okay, so not to sound like fucking violent, but I'm kind of glad you got your booties clapped. It's more fun to VOD review when you get your booties clapped. And also, like, sorry that we have to do this at such a weird fucking time, but I have a Darth Vader scrim tomorrow, and I really don't want to do it after that. And I was supposed to do, I have a Sparrow one to do again after this.
I think it makes sense.
We do? Oh, we do.
Yeah, we still have to finish. We only did, how many
We only did
seconds?
first two.
No, we did, like, the first 3.
Oh, wait, there's only 4 maps, I'm pretty sure.
There were more than 4. I think.
What?
Or,
Oh, maybe.
we did. We just finished. I think we finished Nepal, and that's where we stopped. And the
Right, yeah.
biggest takeaway from that was Sion and I need to warm up. No, we just finished Dorado. Sion and I need to warm up
Yeah,
before we
yeah,
actually
yeah.
play a fucking scrim. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at comps right now. So for the purpose of this VOD review, we are not going to focus on y'all's comms, just because I try to do that like live. It's easier to do it live than like later on, and comms are like harder to fix, so I like to start more with like what you're actually doing before we switch to comms. Ask Magic. So another thing that I just want to make a little comment on, I'm about to hack y'all's computers and unbind your jump keys. Stop jumping against a goddamn Ashe or a Widowmaker or literally anything that can snipe. It is the easiest, most predictable pattern in the world, and you're going to get killed 900 times out of 10.
900, that's a big
900
number.
out of 10. Okay.
That's like a 900% mortality rate.
Yeah.
Quick maps.
So, right off the bat, I'm just gonna make a comment. I don't like Shimada Bros together ever. I also don't really care for the tank combo, but we're not gonna talk about it. Because we're gonna talk about this very sloppy rotation.
I don't regret doing this decision.
I regret this for you. Okay, so this is what I don't like about this. Your tanks are coming to point, which is a good rotation. You should be coming to point when they go up here. I don't know what you're trying to do, but you don't look like you're about to go to point. And you definitely aren't going to point. And you're you're Mercy, I don't really care. You'll fly. But
Maybe.
Ana had the best rotation, the most A1 rotation on this. Just gotta give it to props to Ana. But yeah, so you guys need to like know where your rotations are when they do certain stuff, because if you don't, then you're gonna get split up, and their team is mostly together. And you can be like, oh, well, they don't have their Zarya, and I don't know where the 5th person... Oh, Lucio just died. But y'all are, like, so spread out that they could just collapse on these 2 bitches right here, and then collapse on this bitch, and then turn around and collapse on this bitch, and y'all are gonna die.
Alright, can we ask questions during VOD review?
Yes, I encourage questions during VOD
Okay,
review.
so I was up on that little platform top left. Where do you propose that I go as the Hanzo?
Well, first off, the moment you see a goddamn sim, you should get off that platform. But if you cannot get off that platform, then you pretty much need to go under them, because they're less likely to jump down like that. You're going to be protected longer, and you're going to be able to get over here quicker. Because this is your ultimate goal. When they go high ground like this, you want to rotate so you're holding right here. Because it gives your support protection right here. And then it gives you guys a better stance if they come here or if they decide to go around. And
Okay,
also, their
thanks.
Zarya, like, went to point like this, like a dumbass. I love that Zarya skin. Okay. The Zarya went to point like a dumbass, so you guys could have totally, like, destroyed Zarya and then killed their entire team.
Genuinely, I think you're the first person to listen to that Zarya skin side track.
I love that Zarya skin so much.
I'm gonna go.
Okay, so this is another thing I don't like right here. So they're down 2, which means they only have 4 people remaining. And I see all 6 of you. Maybe. Where's Ana? Oh, Ana's right there. I see all 6 of you. But all 6 of you are spread the fuck out. Besides, I don't know how these 2 ended up together. And also, Mercy's looking that way, I guess. I don't know. Point being, and these 2 are kind of together too. That's weird. Oh, mid flip, baby. Okay, so this would be the perfect chance to just collapse on these motherfuckers because they only have 4, but you guys aren't in a good position to do it. So either they need to back up or you guys need to get your asses over here and push it. Personally, pushing is the better option, but if you're not going to do it fast enough, then you're just going to get trapped between their teammates that are coming back. So you either have to do it like quickly or not at all. None of this half peak bullshit. And I don't know. You should have got punished for that and you didn't, and it's amazing. Okay, and then I think you guys just like hold off picks. Sorry, I like fast forward it, otherwise it takes 10 years to do one map. And I'm not about to make you guys sit here for 10 hours because I also don't want to sit here for 10 hours.
She doesn't like you guys. Sorry.
What? I
understandable.
fucking fast forwarded on Sparrow too. Yesterday, Enoch was the only one that showed up, you bitch.
Wait, no, I was there.
For 10 minutes
I was
to
just
show off
muted.
your sleep.
No, I was there just muted. I was on my phone.
Imagine that. I was there. Okay, so the thing I don't like about this is you guys come over here and you set it back up when you know what they're running. You know they have a Symmetra. Why are you doing this again?
Okay, to be fair, who stays sim? I thought you switch if it doesn't work. the
No,
first
they
push.
usually do it at least 2 pushes. So pretty much your Ana's fuckity fucked here. And Genji's about to go in, and you really think Genji's gonna survive against these 3 motherfuckers? I don't think so. Hog's looking, but Hog's fucking slow, dude, so like
I guess super slow.
y'all,
What a loser.
the only
He's a
only
nice
way
guy, though.
this works is if you guys are all right here and they teleport behind you and you turn and look. Otherwise, you're gonna get fucked in here because you have 2 people who are kind of next to them, and then the rest of your team's over here, and it's gonna be like a long turn, and you're not. They're gonna be dead by the time you get there.
Who were the people that you guys played against?
It was just like a random outside team.
Okay.
That was too good for us. Maybe. Probably.
Imagine, dude, saying they're too good. You guys gotta get used to playing up though, because
No,
you're gonna
it's-
be
yeah, it's
you're gonna be
good
joining the
practice.
league. And I know a few of the mods are like, I don't know if we should let them join the league, and I'm like, I vouched for you guys. You can't do me like that,
Yeah, yeah.
guys.
Who was it?
Okay, so I like this actually a little bit better. You guys are playing like a little bit closer to the middle. Oh, it's Derek, by the way. You guys are playing a little bit
Oh.
closer to the middle, but like still, if they teleported back here, you guys are fucked, and they're still wearing this Symmetra. Ah! I did a thing. Okay, so they hammer down. Another reason why I don't like running Sigma without any other type of shield is if they're running Reinhardt, you're gonna get slammed most of the time unless you have a godlike Sig. They boostioed? That's distracting.
Oh, by the way, we had communication issues on this map. The Sigma could only do team chat, so it's a little weird.
Yeah. This is like a mess, and it kind of works because you guys all hopped on Cupcake's back. Probably shouldn't have worked. Okay, so they swapped their comp up. Honestly, they're running kind of a weird comp, but Okay, so y'all were like quick as hell on the rotation. Except for someone. Nice fucking. Okay, wait, that kind of looks cool though. Like his hands moving a
Look
little
at that
bit.
arrow.
We're just vibing up here. I'm
His
just
hand's
pressing, that's all.
moving. Why is his hand moving?
I don't know.
I'm so disturbed that his hand's moving.
It's Vogue.
Okay, that was like
I think
a
I
little bit
actually
weird.
killed someone here though, or maybe that was. not-
So I will say though, I think you guys were too quick to rotate because they're running ball, and ball's the only one that's through. But you guys all rotating. I don't know. You guys were too slow on the rotations last time, and now you're like fucking Speedy Gonzalez over here for no reason for a ball that you get killed by. How the fuck?
Dude, oh my
I
God.
told you, when you rotate, go
It's
under.
the fault for rotating too fast, you know.
This is the best spot to rotate through.
Okay, I've probably never walked on that exact platform,
Ooh.
except when leaving that spawn door.
Yeah, so that's like, that's a better rotation spot, harder to get to, and it's easier if you're playing somebody like when I do it on Ashe, it's like a straight shot. They usually follow you straight through, so you can damage the shit out of them while they walk through it, because they're probably not strafing.
Keep that in mind.
Okay, another thing I don't like, your tanks are playing really fucking split, like really split. Don't know what that's about. I also just don't like the tank combo still.
Wait, yeah, what is that? What is that composition?
I don't like it. Sorry,
I like
I
it
keep
all.
pausing to like switch. I'm not very good at the camera work, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Okay. So, I also just don't like this hog play because like, I don't know why. Y'all aren't like going to point. Like the whole point of this is to protect point, but you're going for like kills instead of point. And like as a tank, especially like a DPS, you can get away with it because you usually have like really good movement. A tank probably shouldn't be doing that because you're the front line, and now you're gonna get cut off. Oh, this was the cupcake cleanup right here. Okay, so this is the part that is absolutely amazing to me.
We lose here.
You do lose here. First off,
Exactly.
this just comes down to a mechanic thing, but Baby Diva needs to die quicker. You just have to like confirm kills quicker, and you need to protect your supports a little bit better. Fuck. Down. Yeah. So we're gonna stop. And also like, you guys weren't doing good at rotating your alts. The only thing that saved you is they were also shitty at rotating their alts. Okay, how do you get caught out here? Who the fuck catches you out here? A tracer? I'll get killed by a tracer? I don't understand what's happening. I don't... Okay. Okay, so this was just a dumb jump. Like, you should have never jumped into that. Unfortunate. Yeah, you kind of deserve to die there. No offense. I also do not like this tank combo either, and it's atrocious. It's like worse than fucking hog. Okay.
What, their tank combo?
Our tank combo. Okay, when I do VOD reviews, I will very rarely ever comment on their play. Just because, obviously there are points where they win purely by mechanics, or they win because they have a better team comp or something. And I think it's better to just focus on what we're doing wrong, rather than what they did right. And or,
Yeah.
well, okay, so like yesterday, I totally called out Sparrow for winning a fight just because they threw, not us. Like what?
Yep,
How did
you
I win
did.
it? I said we didn't win.
I slept a nanoed Sigma ulting.
Oh my
And you
god!
said
I
that-
said
and
no.
and
That's
you
what
said
I wasn't
that we
talking
won.
about. I said we didn't win. They gave it to us. They did, because they were on high ground and they dropped off for no reason.
Oh
and
yeah, you're
gave it to
right.
us. And that's why they fucking lost.
Yeah.
They didn't even lose. Yeah, they did lose, actually. We full held them.
They shouldn't have popped down at all.
Okay, so we are just so split. So split. Hog, I have no idea what you're doing over there. Please return to your team. I feel like I should slap like a sticker on you. This is like return to team if found. And then I don't know if it helps anymore that you guys are literally attached at the hip.
We're just chilling, dude.
I don't know what you guys are aiming at, but like okay, so again, this map type, the whole point of it is to protect this little thing called the point. And absolutely nobody was on the point. And I don't even, like, it all started with a bad Winston jump. And this is why tanks
Okay.
are so important.
Wait, is that a bad spot for Hanzo? I get line of sight over the entire
Okay,
thing.
this is not a bad spot for Hanzo, but it's a bad spot when you realize that we are losing and we need point contest and you just sit up there and spam arrows the whole time.
Okay. So I can go melee range if the situation calls for it.
Yeah, you should be going melee
Hell yeah.
range way earlier than you do, because you don't attempt to jump until that very after.
Yeah. This was also my first game. I didn't realize how fast it was going. That's my
So,
excuse.
yeah. We also used alts weirdly and or didn't use them at all, and it showed. Oh, 20 seconds. 0.7 seconds. Yeah, I would say, like, it was also, like, not a good team comp going into that, but you guys kind of got steamrolled second point and didn't have a chance to switch. Alright, rejecting? 40 seconds? Who the fuck needs 40 seconds? Okay. We're gonna watch this from choke perspective. Okay. Again, I appreciate your love of anime and Shimada Bros, but please stop with the Shimada Bros duo.
Okay, but I pick Hanzo because we have the Zarya Rhine.
Okay, no, I'm saying
we-
okay. Just having Zarya is not a good enough reason to pick Hanzo.
Isn't
Unless
also a
your
good map for
Zarya
Hanzo.
is a fucking insane and pulling grabs every 10 seconds, and they don't have a defensive ult, which they do. And their Lucio, I'm pretty sure, charges beat faster than your Zarya charges grab. Secondly, you guys run this comp like the whole fucking time. Like, you don't swap. Like, I know for a fact you don't swap. And it's Genji into fucking Junkrat. What are you gonna do? Deflect his little junk nade things that he's not even aiming into the fucking air? Like, Junkrat versus Genji is not a good. It's. I don't have words
What
for
would
that.
be a better pick there then?
Farah.
Yes, good question.
Farah, 110%. They literally have no hit scan. Farah breaks the shit out of shield. Honestly, I would have liked to see double flyers here. Like, 112% double flyers. And I would have rather seen dive, but dive is not everyone's forte. Another Sparrow special is if you play Symmetra Mei, and then you go straight to point, and then the Mei walls off this main right here. So, like, once you get on point, Mei walls this off, so your team's stuck
That's
right
so
here.
dirty.
It is dirty, but it works.
It does work.
It works
It makes you feel
9 times
so
out of 10.
good.
Oh, it doesn't make me feel good, dude. I fucking hate playing Symmetra, and I don't know how I get stuck on her. The one time Sion played Mei, he fucked it up, dude. I'm never letting him play Mei again.
Wait, honestly, yeah.
I also want to mention, first off, you see this little angry dude with a hat, and for some reason oh, his teeth are disgusting. You see this little man right here?
It's a grill.
He is going to absolutely shatter your shield in 10 seconds flat. And in the process, you guys don't have any Speedy Boy. So you're just gonna die. Like, 9 times out of 10. You're never gonna take this
Speedy
choke.
boy.
So not only were the DPS bad picks, but your supports were also horrible picks, especially with your tanks. I personally am not a fan of double main support ever. Especially when they have 2 two people who can really, really hurt your comp without a defense vault. I think Lucio was a better pick. I don't care if you run Moira or Ana with it, but I honestly, instead of the Zarya, I would have rather seen Dive in general, but if you are going to run this, I would have rather seen like a D.Va instead of the Zarya, just because D.Va can bait out wall. And otherwise you have like Genji baiting out wall, and a smart Mei is never ever going to fall for that, because Genji can fucking wall climb. At least with D.Va, they try to get it, like, with the boosters, like, a little bit, but I don't know. But yeah, you guys just get stuck in this choke because they just have a better, like, spam comp than you guys, and you aren't countering the spam comp at all. That's unfortunate, Zarya. So this is pretty much just 3.5 minutes of you guys getting donked on, because your comp is absolutely garbage against theirs. See, wait, this is what I'm talking about. You're at 43, Zarya's at 37, their Lucio's at 75. The only reason this will ever work is if you can actually play for Grav Dragons, and they have a defense vault and a speedy boy that will literally just turn speed on, and if they communicate it right, they can all get out before they die to Grav Dragons.
What are you saying, a defense ball?
Defensive ult.
Defensive vault,
defensive
yeah.
vault, sorry.
So, like, I mean, there are only really, like, 2 defensive vaults in game, which is, Lucio and Zen, but Zen's is easily counterable because of Ana's nade, if you have a good Ana, or if they have a good Ana.
Yeah.
Otherwise...
She isn't talking about me, by the way.
You know? It do be like that sometimes. No, but also they're running the Mei, and, I mean... Even without the Lucio, they probably would be able to get their tanks out of any Grav Dragon you do, because they can just Mei wall up. Which is unfortunate, but it happens. I think double flyers would have been your best bet, and then run dive. Yeah, Cupcake gets donked. And then there's like a lot of staggering here, and then you guys just hold choke and like peek it like nothing's gonna happen, but like their junk is literally gotten your shield down in 10 seconds flat. Also, like, whenever you guys trade alts, so you guys just ulted 3 times. They ult twice, and they absolutely destroy you guys. Yeah, no. Well, I guess I ulted 3 times too. But, they're also getting their ults faster than you guys. So, I don't like that this guy's counting over here. Go away, Mako. Yeah, so that's pretty much just like, there was definitely a tank differential right here, but we weren't complimenting tanks enough to make up for it. So like I said, they're off tank, this dude, right here, Lil Miss, fucking skunk hair, I don't know, Lil Miss skunk hair here, she was like, very good and very much carrying their team, whether you realized it or not, and it was making you guys lose your tank battles like every time. So I honestly think you guys needed to play stuff that complements your tanks a little bit better or directly counters their comps, because if not, then your tanks are going to lose that battle 9 times out of 10. If you're playing into like a tank differential like that, it's like really difficult, but pretty much your job as a DPS is to take out their supports or take out their DPS. They have to be missing one of their roles or they're gonna win every single time, and your tanks have to be able to survive long enough to put up a fight even if they don't survive the full fight, if that makes sense. So like your tanks are probably still gonna die, but they have to live long enough for you to kill their supports or DPS. So like you guys were kind of working at a disadvantage, but very, like, that was an awful grab, I'm sorry. That was just a really bad grab. Okay, so this part gets me. This part gets me really bad. Okay, so you guys have 4 up, 2 of which are main supports. Keep that in mind as we watch this transition here. They have 3 up. One is a tank, one's a support, 2 are tanks. Okay, their support is 1, and their support gets donked on, okay? One of your supports is getting donked on, but you still have a support right here, and you have a DPS right here. So, ideally, you should win this fight, right? 9 times out of 10. Ah! Did I go forward or backward? I think I went backward.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. So, you guys killed their Ana. William sleeps there. Hold on, wait. I know this
Zarya,
bitch-
you sleep this
Yeah, no, I know he gets killed though. Who woke up Zarya? Omelet, I swear to God! What is happening to Hanzo's
If
body?
only he was here.
What is happening to Hanzo's body?
It's just Hanzo things. That's what happens
Okay,
when I put too much
so
Hanzo,
first
your
off,
body
you
starts
absolutely
deforming.
fucked your Ana over, but it's okay because look, your little dude's still alive here. I have no idea, no absolute idea how you let their Rhine donk on you, Zarya, but you deserve to die for it.
So this is being recorded, right?
Yes. Okay, so something I don't like right here. You guys are playing around this passively, and you're letting them trickle back. You should have pushed into them. Like, you have the advantage. You have the better healer with you. They literally only have Lucio. And their junk is, like, in. He's in. Like, push that. Because if you don't, you'll see what happens. Because you do not. You play way too passively, and then now look, their May's back. And it's still just these 2 on point. And Ryan charges off into the fucking middle of nowhere. And he dies. And look. Now none of you guys are on point. And you just gave them point advantage again. And then... This is so messy. This is just so messy. Okay, first off... What the fuck is that? Okay, first off, little Miss Moira over here. Your positioning is just very bad this fight, and it gets you killed. You need to play closer to your Zarya, who also doesn't have the greatest positioning, but it's only your only living tank right now. Why is he throwing his headband thing? What is it? I hate this game sometimes. Yeah, so
He's just given up on the will to live.
basically, right? Basically, y'all are just fucking. It's very obvious.
We're playing Call of Duty.
Nobody was target calling right here because look, Zarya's about to fucking go in on these bitches 3v1 for some reason, and one of them's a fucking Mei. And then you're about to get donked on. Like, this bitch is gonna laser dick you to death, okay? Like, there's no surviving. She's like, full charge, dude, you're dead. You're
You
absolutely
say for
dead.
some reason, I think the reason is there's 18 seconds to go. Like,
Right.
3v1
So, like-
me, bitch, I've got this.
Yeah, so I don't know what our Zarya is doing over here. See, their Zarya is getting away with it because first off, all 3 of you are fucking squishies. Second off, none of you are Mei. And third off, you don't got a goddamn Reinhardt staring down at you because I guarantee he's about to charge you and kill you. Okay, so this Zarya is actually biggest fucking brain ever, okay? Because they killed you and got the fuck out. They did not go greedier. They did not go deeper. They killed you and got the fuck out, okay? And then their Rhine met up with them. Their Rhine chose the stupidest way to meet up with them, but their Rhine met up with them. What does your Genji do? Your Genji goes in! And he goes in against a Mei. Sweet, sweet
Oh, Sion plays Genji.
face of death. Dude, I literally messaged Sion yesterday. I was like, Sion, we need to warm up before games. And he's like, did you watch my replay? And I was like, no, I'm talking about because of my own aim. And then he's like, I was like, I did not aim well for the first couple of games. And he's like, only for the first couple? I was like, fuck you, Sion.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, so basically, Yo Genji made a big mistake. I don't. Okay, 10 seconds is not like 10 seconds is 10 seconds. It does not mean that you have to go to point immediately because Zarya's right there. Yeah. So and then they just go clean up crew on your guys' ass because you didn't get your shit together quick enough.
Is it? Can I ask something quickly?
Yeah.
Because of that choke, that's why you're saying as well, like a Pharah or Echo or Diva or something would be good there to get through that choke, and then Lucio to speed in, yeah?
Yep.
To like distract them and get them away from that.
Yes. Sorry. I'm trying to loop this. So they like did not run a hit scan at all that game, and double flyers is like really strong right now. Especially with like Mercy getting buffed. So if you ran Mercy with the double flyers, you pretty much, one, you're never gonna touch the ground. And two, it pretty much gives you a 3v1 versus whoever you're targeting as the two flyers and Mercy, because of the way that they're playing. Even if you don't play super aggressive like that, if you play passively, you're still gonna break their shield like super quickly. And it gives like your tanks a chance to get through the choke. As far as like D.Va goes, D.Va's better at baiting. D.Va's better at baiting out wall, so then you don't get screwed behind the wall. And also like eats.
Yeah, I was about to say also there was Ryan, Zarya, and Mei.
Yeah, like eating stuff is like, it helps so much. I also think we did not utilize D.Va enough in general because, especially, I think it's actually this map. They run an Ashe, and their Ashe gets so much value out of Dynamite, and it's like, I think it's actually definitely Rialto. I don't think it was this map. I don't know why I thought it was this map. But D.Va's like a really good counter to Ashe, which is why I'm gonna like write out like a whole sheet for like counters and comps, because I noticed that we struggled a little bit today about trying to find the right counter for your map, like your hero pools and stuff, and like maps in general. Also, I think it was, I'm not super fond of Widow versus Echo, and the reason is because Echo's movement is a lot harder to predict than somebody like Pharah. And Echo can also get close to you really quickly. And I feel like Widow's just a little bit too slow. So I get like what you were thinking with the Echo pick omelet. Or the Widow pick. But I just... Where's her butt? Okay, I feel like her butt looks smaller than normal. I did not sign up for small butt.
It does. It looks.
I did not sign up for this! What the fuck? Okay, I'm mad.
That is
The one
flat.
reason to pick Widow.
Right?
Now gone.
You know what? You know who
Kidding,
never
boy.
fails me? Look at that strong, powerful thighs. Okay,
I thought you were gonna say her butt. I was like, oh.
she doesn't have much of a butt, but I don't know. I wouldn't sleep on McCree's booty. He's kind of got a good one. At least you don't have this flat of a butt. You can't see it,
But you love
guys.
everything else about him.
Dude, Soldier's literally got no butt, and it makes me so sad. Okay, but my point was, I don't even remember what I was talking about. The Widow pick. I think I was talking about the Widow pick.
Yeah, the
Yeah, you were.
thickness of Widow's booty.
No, before that. Oh, okay, so like
It was Widow versus Echo.
yeah, so Widow is just like kind of slow for Echo, because especially she can move like the distance pretty quickly for shifts on cooldown, and if she gets like this close to you or literally anywhere her beam can hit you, you're probably not gonna win it. Which is like, one, I prefer Ashe in this instance or McCree, because one, McCree has stun, two, Ashe has coach gun to get away from them, and I also like Soldier because Soldier's just he's like more versatile as a hit scan, because most hit scans don't do a lot of damage to shields, but he can actually like massacre shields at the same time. So
Yo,
like,
can I ask you a quick question about Soldier?
yes. Is it
Is
about
he
his
like?
butt?
No, it's like an actual
Good
question.
daddy.
Is he like viable to actually play in scrims and stuff?
Yes, he is. He's very viable right now. You know why he's
So
viable?
last team I was on told me he was like not viable in scrims. This was like a year ago though, so I completely
He's
dropped him out of my
gotten
favorite pool.
changed a lot,
So many things have changed, yeah.
but
Okay.
Who are you talking about?
Soldier.
okay,
Soldier,
I'll say Soldier is not viable if you are not good at tracking, because he's not good if you can't hit the majority of your shots, which sounds like redundant, but like Ash, if you hit 50% of your shots, you're doing fine. Soldier, if you
Okay.
hit 50% of your shots, you're not outputting that much damage, because his shots aren't worth a lot individually.
Yeah.
But like, you should be just honestly, if you spam with him, even you're probably gonna do a lot of damage. And his rockets are
Okay.
fucking insane. If you hit his
Okay,
rockets
cool.
consistently, like you're gonna. They do so much fucking damage, dude. I'm not
I
joking.
hate them.
I hate them too. They do. You cannot. He hits you twice and then shoots a fucking rocket and you're dead.
Yeah. I'll pick him back up then, cause I played him in this game and it felt good, so I'll pick him back up.
He's a good tool to have in your arsenal, especially because his ult is like easily you get like a kill, usually at least one kill, and you usually also bait out their defensive ult at the very least.
Yeah, I'm gonna go now. Bye, guys.
Bye, Magic.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Also, I'm not a huge fan of Hanzo on this map. Reason is, I'm not a huge fan of Hanzo in general against this team because they abuse the shit out of fucking Echo, and when they weren't abusing Echo, they played a lot of sniper comps. So I think if you guys would have run double like actual sniper, not Hanzo sniper, like Widow Ash, or even like Ash Kree, Widow
Wait, I
Kree.
thought Hanzo was more of a sniper than Ash because the one-shot capability.
Yeah, but he's also a projectile, and he doesn't hit the same way. So it's more of like predictive movement. It's harder. Okay, it's easier to hit an Echo as Ash than it is as
Yeah.
fuckface. Hanzo.
Hanzo. Yeah.
So like the point. That's like what I'm getting at. And like sniper battles are usually easier for hit scans than it is for a projectile. Just because like they have like a quicker, I mean, unless you're like a flick god, they have like a quicker headshot potential than you do. Ash, like, it sucks that she doesn't have like the one shot potential, but usually if you hit an Echo, if you headshot them or even just body shot them, they'll back the fuck up because they need healing. And then same with like sniper battles, you pretty much just have to like, as Ash, you have to take the harder angle and like stand there and make them peek you, like rather than the other way around, because you have to hit them twice or 3 times sometimes.
Can I ask a question really quickly about composition?
Yeah.
Just while you're talking about it. I had a conversation with someone about this the other day, and we can't come to a conclusion about it. Are you better off playing someone that you're not as confident playing if it's like a direct counter to one of their heroes, or are you better off staying on something that you're comfortable with?
Okay,
That's
so
like you actually feel good at playing.
I think this is situational because there are certain times where I think you can definitely get away with like a niche pick, even though it might not be the best into their team. Because like there's a certain point where it genuinely does just come down to mechanics.
Yeah.
But like, so we have on Sparrow we have a player who plays Genji into almost anything, and like the other day when we were playing, normally he donks on them and it's no problem even if they're playing a counter, but like it hits a point where it's, are you good enough at this character to play them into a direct counter? And then it's like, if you're not, then it's probably better to swap to something that fits, even if it's not a direct counter. So you can get away with playing stuff that's not necessarily a counter to them, but it's also not countered by them.
Yeah.
Which is why I genuinely think Soldier's a good pick in most instances, because he's not a direct counter to a lot of things. I mean, I guess technically Flyers, he's a counter just because he's hit scan. but like he doesn't actually. It's not like McCree where like, oh, you have a Tracer, let me go Cree or like whatever. But he's also not like countered by anything really.
Okay.
Like, so I definitely think there's like a point where it's like, okay, my comfort pick isn't working, I'm probably gonna have to swap off of it, and then it's easiest just to pick something that's complemented by your team or that counters their team.
Yeah.
If that, I don't know if that's like a good enough description.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It was just, my friend and I were talking about it, and he was like, I feel like if you were to play, say if we're talking like D.Va Zarya or something like that,
Yeah.
better off to switch to Zarya and play it at like 50% as well as you'd play D.Va if it's the better pick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Anyway.
it's like, yeah, that's like kind of situational, because I mean, like, I honestly think with tanks you have a little bit more freedom than DPS, just because DPS are like hard count. Some of them are like super hard countered by certain comps, so it's like,
Oh yeah.
whereas like tanks, I feel like even if they decided to run D.Va instead of Zarya into this, then like D.Va wouldn't be a bad pick, even though their Rein's probably gonna get donked on by Rein Zar. Like D.Va would be a good pick into it, because then you would be countering something else. So I feel like with tanks you have like a little bit more flexibility, whereas like DPS, like there's just a point where you just can't play something anymore. And I think that's like the hardest thing to get through as a DPS player too, because I played DPS for one of the teams, and it's like you want to play what you're comfortable on, but there's just a point where you just have to give it up because you're getting so hard countered, and you're doing worse than if you were playing a character you're not as good on.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll stop interrupting now.
Oh no, you're fine. That was a good question.
We need more discussion on this team. That's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Did I ever have you guys fill out that thing that had Sparrow fill out with like what characters you play? They're just cleanup crewing right now. So like honestly, there's Zarya hard carries this game. Like absolutely. And Soldier is never contested. He stays on high ground almost the entire time and is rarely ever contested.
I was calling it a lot on first point. Like I was in the voice chat, I was like Omelet on your right, but I don't know. People don't communicate on this team. I think we're just trying to get used to each other.
If you
I don't
are,
know.
so if you're playing Widow and you're consistently dying to their DPS, get off Widow. It's not like you can get an ult that's gonna, what the fuck is happening? It's not like you can get an ult that's gonna help. So snipers are like the worst and the best, because if you have the better sniper or a sniper that's consistently killing their backline / DPS, then you have pretty much like carried your team to a victory. But if you're getting consistently picked, then you're throwing like harder than anybody else on your team. Which is why in comp a lot of times people are like, oh, you're playing Widowmaker, you know what I'm talking about, the old don't play Widow thing. Yeah.
You know, I will say, usually our DPS are better than the enemy, and I think this is probably the first scrim we've had where their DPS were kind of just donking on us.
Yeah.
Especially the JKC
I think
guy.
teams get into like a rut too where, oh, this is kind of cool. I didn't realize there's water right here. Sorry. Teams get into like kind of a rut where there are protest signs. I didn't notice any of this. Okay. What does that say? Scrap all robots. Okay. I swear I'm like getting distracted. So teams get into like a rut where they expect the wrong things of roles, because so supports enable tanks and tanks enable DPS, and so like that's why it's like sometimes it's really hard to tell who's not doing their job versus who is, and it's easiest to blame the DPS because theirs are the most glaringly obvious if they're not doing their job, but sometimes they aren't able to do their job because the tanks aren't doing their job, or their DPS aren't doing the job, so the tanks can't do their job. It's like a pyramid, and it's really annoying because if you have one thing wrong with it, your whole pyramid's gonna crumble. And the only way to fix it is if you have somebody who's hard carrying at the top of the pyramid. So that's why, like, it's really important. Why does his shield look so tiny? Okay.
Maybe he's just opening.
I
it.
think he's just opening it. So it's really
It's on the
important
ground.
to, like, pay attention to what your weak points are as a team, and also what your strengths are as a team, and what the enemy's weak points are and strengths are, because you want to exploit their weak points, and you want to eliminate their strong points. Strong point A example. This bitch and this bitch, which means you're gonna have to hard focus them more. But it really does, like, come down to, like, everybody needs to trust everybody else in the pyramid to do their job, because if they try to go down or they try to go up, then they start fucking up the pyramid and you end up with a square. I don't know. It was just a shape I thought of. But my point is, if you don't trust the people below you, then you're never gonna build up to the top. And it's like, you can't be too reliant on, like, one point. So sometimes, like, Sparrow had a really bad problem. It's gotten, like, a little bit better, but it was, like, super bad in the beginning because our tanks would not go in unless one of the DPS got a pick. So if our DPS ever had a bad day, we completely lost scrims. Like, oh my god, my temperature's going up. Okay.
Can I get some context here that I probably missed? Is Sparrows your team?
Sparrow is the one of the teams I play. Okay, so I'm, like, on 2 other teams, and one of them I play
Okay.
DPS for, and one of them I play support for, because I'm, like, actually
Okay.
a support main, but I promised somebody to play DPS for Sparrow because it was, like, our academy team at one point. It's, like, a whole thing. But
Okay.
I reference them a lot because I also do their VOD reviews, so, like, it's easier for me to, like, relate it back to, like, what's going on with them, because they've, like, I've been on that team for a while and the team's been a team for, like, a lot longer, so it's like I've seen how they've progressed, whereas, like, this team, I mean, like, it's been a little bit, but it hasn't been long enough to see a lot of progression, and it's been a lot of, like, people trying out and rotating in and out, so it's like
Okay.
you haven't seen, like, a lot of, like, consistency and change, which is also why we're focusing specifically on, like, not focusing on comms right now, because comms is definitely something that comes after, because it's really difficult to get people to focus heavily on that. Which, honestly, you guys did better from the beginning to the end. Well, okay, you did better from the beginning to the middle, and then the end you started to peter off again. Which is unfortunate, but I think you guys were just annoyed.
Do you think
at that
like
point.
we were just joking more at the end, or
At the end, okay, so, like, comms should be, like, super quiet, except for one person should be calling out comps, and one person, like, shot calling. Like, it's usually a tank, usually the main tank, sometimes the off tank, but they should be the one that's calling off who your target is, and everybody should be focusing that target, save your supports. They probably don't need to be focusing, unless they're playing Zen, I guess, or Lucio.
I was trying to do some callouts in the end, but I don't think I was being heard with. Like,
Yeah,
it
there's
was
so
very
much, like,
loud.
clutter that it's, like, sometimes hard, which is, like, something that we definitely need to work on, because there's way too much clutter in comms right now.
that really annoys me, like when people just start talking about something unrelated or joking.
Yeah,
It's one
so
thing to make a joke, but they go on like tirades about something completely unrelated.
I made I love Magic. I made Magic put his mic on push to talk. Or no, I made him mute his mic and put it on push to talk for Discord because he kept getting off topic. And it's helped him so much. He was so much more quiet, less scrim. Like, it does a genuine, if you have an urge to talk all the time, just like, if you have an urge to jump all the time, unbind your jump key for a little bit and you'll never do it again.
Unless you're Lucio, and then
Unless-
don't.
That's a good one. Or like Farah or something, but like I had to do it too. I used to jump all the time and I would get sniped constantly. So I had to unbind my fucking jump key, and now I crouch, which is it's a weird habit, but it's a good habit because crouching is actually harder to hit. What is down there? I don't like that. Okay.
Oh, did you just find a creepy chamber?
Right? It looks like a torture
That's fun.
chamber. Okay, so another thing I don't know why I'm adding it right now, but especially in this game, you guys have like a tendency not to disengage quickly. You have to be like really, really decisive when it comes to disengagements. So there's a point where somebody needs to call out to get out or die. Honestly, this one can be anybody on the team, but it's supports usually have a better view of what's happening on your own team. So, like, if I was a support right now, I'd be like, yeah, we're fucking dying, sorry. And then it's okay to run into the enemy team. If there's nowhere to jump off the edge, it's okay to run into them and get them to kill you to die faster. Because if not, your reset is going to be 10 years. Especially when you try to get out. Like, if this Zarya tries to get out, they're probably going to die. They don't have enough health. Like, I don't think they have cooldowns. Like, they're probably going to die. Yeah, I think they do die. Oh, they do have cooldown. But see what I'm saying? Like, right here, supports DPS just getting, or supports and tank are just getting staggered. They just get chased down and die anyways. So, like, there just needs to be a point where you're disengaged. Even if you have to meet back and spawn. I could care less where you're meeting. Just disengage. Call it. Get out or die. I don't care who's calling it. Just make sure your voice is fucking loud when you do.
I'll be back in a sec. I'm just going to the bathroom.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so pretty much right here, this whole second part, you guys are mostly staggered. There's like one point where you start to recontest. As far as this goes, if you're losing this battle, just get down.
At this point, I was still trying to understand. Like, I didn't realize that this guy was just straight up better than me. So I was like, oh, it's Walter.
Yeah, it's like really hard as a DPS to admit when somebody is gonna shit on you. Trust me, I've had these moments. Usually it's like the bigger dick wins, but there's some point where you're just going against somebody who's just gonna fucking donk on you every time. And it sucks, but you pretty much have to play around them. And it's at this point where so if their DPS are straight up better than your DPS and you're playing something like this, then you need to play to support your tanks completely. Because now your tank line is the only line that's gonna win. Because your DPS are getting donked on. Which, so again, this just comes down to everybody gets staggered and killed one by one. And there's no, like, actual regroup. And it's really unfortunate, but, like, I don't know why everybody's trying to force this anyways. And they have the better ult economy. I don't know if y'all just use your alts or how it was, but they have, like, a way better ult economy right now. And it's unfortunate, but you guys are pretty much gonna have to do a few dry pushes to build ults. Especially because they only have the cart right there. So D.Va was smart for jumping on that, but if you're gonna like contest something like this, especially if they're outputting that much damage, just go for a minute and then come back so you can get healed. Otherwise, D.Va's just demacked and dead. This is a good spot to hold though. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to go on this. So, you guys have like two sides coming at you, and this does not happen, but I wish it happened. So, first off, Lucio is one lucky bastard that got this off, because he was shooting at the wrong person to start off with, but if he was shooting at Lucio for one more second, he would have died and lost his ult right there. This is what I don't like. Rein should never be charged. Rein is the front line at all times. I don't care what is going on behind Reinhardt. I don't care what... A goddamn tsunami could be going behind the main tank. You better keep your eyes goddamn forward, okay? You are the front line. The front line. Look at this man. Look at... Oh, that's a little creepy.
What is wrong with his eye?
What's wrong with his tongue?
And his mouth.
Is he having a stroke?
Why? His
He's
eyes
having
like
too much
following
fun.
me. Okay, that's freaky. Okay, so this Rein gets it, okay? This Rein is always at the front of battle. This Rein is chasing an ulting soldier who's half health, and there's a beat going on. And there's a McCree fanning the hammer at him. And there's also a Lucio looking this way. And there's a Moira looking this way who's getting donked on by this Reinhardt. Okay? The only person not looking this way is your Hanzo, who's about to fall off the edge. My point
I was
being...
1 HP, I was trying to get out of there. And I just killed Echo.
This
Come on.
this comes back to the pyramid here. Your tank, as a tank, you have to trust your DPS, your supports, and your off tank to look at whatever the hell's happening behind you. There is a hierarchy of tanks. Like, there's a hierarchy of supports and a hierarchy of DPS. And as Reinhardt, you are the number one for frontline. Okay, like, that's your job. That's it. You're the frontline. It doesn't matter. You could have any other tank paired with Reinhardt. Reinhardt is always the frontline. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Except, like, I think Orissa's a little bit more interchangeable with Reinhardt as far as that goes. Just because Orissa's a little bit slower than Reinhardt. But yeah. You're frontline. Sorry. So, you shouldn't ever be over here when your supports are over here. This also comes to, like, a support positioning thing, though. You need to make sure, as a support, you are never in front of your tanks. The only person I ever want to see go in front of a Reinhardt is a Zarya to get charged. Like this. This big dick Zarya. This Zarya is got a massive laser schlong. I mean, fuck. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, this Zarya, I'm not gonna lie. This Zarya might beat me in a Zarya 1v1. No, I don't think they would. But they do got a big dick. So, basically what happens here is they have a super high charge Zarya. They have a nano Rein. Even if the Rein wasn't nanoed, Rein Zarya versus Rein D.Va, they're probably going to win the frontline fight unless your DPS, both of your DPS, are specifically on them. And I don't know where McCree is. McCree's going for that flank high noon. Please don't go for flank high noons because
Mustard man.
It's just not a good idea. It's really, look how fast Zarya kills you. This is why you don't go for a flank high noon. And then this is just unfortunate. Yeah. No, wrong button. Oh, I was playing this on regular speed. Imagine. Ooh, 30 seconds, 16 seconds. Okay. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to look at team comp for a second. Wait, what? Why is there a hog? I don't like that.
This guy kind of just picked hog a lot.
A hog's not a good idea. Okay. I almost hit back again. Okay. So. Okay, the pick is, it's okay to peek, I guess, but this is not okay. So if you guys decide you're going out this window, y'all better be grouped up to drop out that window, or you better stay right here until the rest of your team can fucking get out that window. Okay. Also, Lucio should be on speed. Like 112% getting out that window. And should have, I don't know why Lucio isn't with you. To begin with, what is this? Okay, so Reaver teleported. That's a good pick. That's a pick. Okay. You guys keep high ground. Okay. One thing about this. It's good that you're keeping high ground, but if you're playing Moira, it's not good that you're keeping high ground. So when you have this team comp, you have to play a little bit differently because your range as Moira isn't very good, and your DPS are going to need support. So pretty much Lucio becomes your DPS support, and Lucio is like a little froggy boy, so he can jump around. So as a Lucio, in this instance, you need to be supporting your DPS, which means you're going to be on their ass. If they go on a flank, you're going with them. Like, that's the tea, sis. You're going. That was just a bad move, Omelette. I don't know what you were trying to accomplish there, but it was never gonna happen.
You should have heard him in voice chat. Well, maybe you did.
So, a better alternative to what you just did there would have been to jump down this direction and then come behind like this, and then push in when your tanks push in. Because your flank is never going to work unless you're flanking to, like, unless your team is pushing in at the same time.
Unless
Otherwise,
there's
they're
pressure
just gonna turn and look
right?
at you. I don't. Okay, I was like, Lucio better come back around. Okay, so this is the part where you guys kind of fucked yourself over, because if you were playing Zarya Clash Killer, y'all would have fucking won this, but Hog's just not a good pick here. Like, I don't. You're just gonna give them all, like, May's gonna have ult every 10 seconds because Hog's just a fat little fuck who gets shot at and dies. Okay, so I like that you did not drop off high ground. That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that was good. And then the supports were playing, like, safer, which is good because they output a shit ton of damage. Yeah, no, that was just, unfortunate that Omelette died there, and then unfortunate that you're running a Hog. Not to hate on Hog comps, but Hog's not the greatest pick all the time, unless you're fucking insane at him. Okay. Oh, I thought you dropped for a second. I was like, I just complimented you and you fucking did it. Nope, you didn't. You're good. So, you should be 100% targeting Echo. Like, main focus. There you go. There you go. Look at that.
Easy money.
Okay.
Easy money.
I would like to see you rotate, like, back here, or even up there, to get free picks on down here.
I think I do. Or I did on the previous push anyways.
Okay, wait. Sorry, I want to make sure I see the supports for this. So, okay, I can vibe with the Lucio beat, but I don't vibe with it, just because if you're alt tracking, you would know that Mei almost has ult. And I would rather see Lucio beat used for that when they only grabbed one person. And it was a tank. Yeah, that just comes to blocking shatters. So this, when you're disengaging like this, you need to call out which side of statue you're going, because you've got two over here. Oh, I thought that was. Oh. Why do I keep thinking you dropped? You're still up there. Okay, but your Reinhardt's like fucked, like 10 shades of fucked. Your Lucio's kind of fucked, but they're not good enough to kill him, I guess. And now you guys just rotated in a circle and let them cut off. You let them cut you off from your own spawn. And that's just unfortunate. And Hog's still a bad pick.
Well, this is where they touch me inappropriately.
Where are you? Okay, so at this point, if you're up here, you need to assume they know you're up here because you were shooting down at them. You just need to kill yourself or run out somehow. Sometimes they're not smart enough to look and you can run right past them. Trust me, it's happened.
I almost killed the Mei. I was so sad. She was like actually 1 HP.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been worth it. Oh, that bitch teabagged you.
I know, I called them out on it, and they're like, oh, I was saying hi to my teammate. I was like, oh, it's whatever.
Okay. Again, Roadhog is like single-handedly the worst tank you can pick here. Like, actually, I think. No, you know what? I was about to say Orisa might be the only one that's worse, but Orisa might even be okay just because you'd have double shield. Roadhog is single-handedly the worst tank at this spot right here immediately. And look, you just proved my point. Honestly, just give it to him. Don't alt. Because they use 2 major alts. Although, look at Anxiety, dude. Already at 22 and they literally just used it. I hate that fucking Roadhog just did a voice line. Okay. Okay, another thing is, I'm sorry, Onlay, I'm not trying to flame you, but if you haven't Reaper ulted by now, and it's like 2 or 3 minutes into the game, don't play Reaper. He's not even that great against their comp, to be completely honest. He actually really isn't good against their comp. I think you would have a better time playing something. So, like, if you played, like, a flyer here, it would be okay. Just because Soldier would have to hard focus their... This bitch. I can't think of her name. Echo. Or if you're not comfortable on a flyer, then you could play a hit scan, because I know you play hit scan. Like McCree would be a not horrible pick. Or Ash. Yeah, no. I just really don't like the Reaper pick that much either. Somebody explained to me how it took that long to kill the Ana. It didn't even take that long, but this is also speeded up. And she was standing still.
They didn't notice her. They're like, get whoever's on point, and she's just 5-in. I was already pushing to the next point.
So yeah, Tanks push up. Tanks push up. We're gonna see this. Because I don't think the tanks push up super far. Okay, yeah, tanks are playing too passively right now. I don't... Okay, I'm not even gonna comment on it. I don't know how that wall works, but somehow it worked, and it was a really bad wall. And again, just get off the goddamn Roadhog! You just got fucked up there.
Hell yeah, I did.
I don't know how... I don't understand how this Echo's letting herself die to Reaper, but she is, and it's unfortunate.
She used all her cooldowns on me. And she was
Okay,
in
so
that
that's
room,
actually a really good spot to hold this Reaper. And that's actually a massive Reaper ult. Your Reaper just saved you guys on that point. The only thing is, you guys use 3 ults, and you have no ults now. And they have 3 ults. They used 3 ults too, though. So, it was an even trade, but they're still up in the ult fight, which ultimately gives them the advantage. Okay, so this is something I don't like. Reinhardt, unbind your S key, please. If you need to turn around, just fucking turn around. Unbind your S key. Do not ever do that in my presence. It makes me very angry. Please do not back up. Please. I don't care if you see... Okay, first off, Nano Rein isn't even as scary as fucking Nano Zen or Nano Brig. You're fine. But, I digress. Don't back up, because you just gave them all the space and gave your DPS absolutely no space. And just absolutely fucked your soldier over, to be completely honest.
I was terrified.
But also, this is not a good spot to be a soldier.
I thought we were pushing in. I was going
You
with the
should have
flow.
tried to take high ground up here.
Okay. I'll do that.
It's okay if you play behind shield too, but like, just a little too flanky. Also, I don't know how... Tanks, you guys backed yourself in such a corner that like, your poor supports are getting their asses ripped. Like, this Zarya is literally just dicking so hard on your supports. And there's just like no target focus right here. Also, that Ana's so fucking low, it hurts. Okay. Okay, I can vibe with this, but your tanks need to move in. You need to call like the flank and let your tanks know so they can move in. This is just everybody.
Oh, this situation.
Yeah,
okay,
that
so
just cut off. Everybody
William-
gets too fucking beta. You need to be alpha.
well, what we were doing is, William said he was pushing in for an ult, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And then he didn't call his ult, and it got blocked. And I was waiting for the ult, but he didn't call it, and I didn't notice it because it was blocked. So.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. Unfortunate. Okay. View. Lijiang. Did you guys? No, they only made you play 2. I don't like this either. They're not hosting ever again. We're
This
probably
was a
never gonna
really
host.
really bad match.
Okay.
Me and Cupcake were on tank.
Yeah, I was like tabbed out for most of this game. I'm not gonna lie, because I was getting you guys actual tanks. No offense.
What were you saying? You're giving us actual tanks?
Yeah, I was trying to find you guys actual tanks to play, not like
Yeah.
so our DPS were just failing for
We
tanks.
were literally just filling, yeah.
That wasn't when I messaged you, was it?
No, it was this was like what was it? I had to get Nomez. I had to get, so like there are like 2 academy teams, and I had to get somebody from the 2nd academy team. This is
I was gonna say, God, I really don't hope that you were thinking I was gonna carry something.
no. It was just like
come
I
on.
felt bad because we had our DPS filling for tank for most of this, and actually almost the entire scrim. We had DPS players playing tank because we had, like, I don't know where all the tanks were today. One of them's internet died. One of them told me he wasn't going to be available for 2 weeks, and he was online, and
then
I'm
he was
still mad
online.
about it.
One of them was just incredibly confused and came late.
It do be like that sometimes.
Don't know who that was. That was a bit embarrassing.
No, I feel that. It's I confused like 8 people, I think, when I said something about the Academy 2 versus 1, because I got like 8 people messaging me like, what's Academy 2? And I'm like, oh. I didn't explain that.
And I was like, okay, sure.
I'm not gonna lie, it was mostly dedicated towards fucking bitch ass right
Is that-
here and Cupcake.
Well, that's why I responded right away. I was like, oh, let me clear
It
this
was
up.
almost entirely actually dedicated. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys are getting out, and I like this. I like that you're getting out, but you're gonna get absolutely donked on because they're running dive.
I think
and
this
their
was our
dive
worst
is
performance of the
super.
night.
Okay, you say it's your worst performance of the night, but I
No,
think
the
it's
team.
their best performance of the night.
Oh.
Like, their team was actually like a really solid dive team, which is rare because most teams aren't good dive teams. And then usually if they are good dive teams, that's all they're good at. So like this team was actually like kind of incredible. I'm kind of impressed. Yeah. Okay. So, fuck. Why do I keep doing that? So, the fact that you guys got that pick right there on their Winston is massive. I think I still went ahead. I don't know where I went. Oh no, I went
You went
behind. Okay, so you guys get this pick on their Winston, which is massive. As long as you guys don't push it too quickly. I also don't like Reinzar on this map, I'm not gonna lie.
These were honestly just comfort picks. I was like, are you comfortable with Reinzar? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay.
So I think you guys dilly-dally a little bit too long right here, trying to like hit them from over here. I don't really like that. As far as, okay, so speaking of Roadhog, he would have actually not been bad on this map, to be completely honest. He would have been pretty good on this map, because you guys actually aren't running a horrible comp into them. Like I said, I think this was their team's best map, because you guys aren't, your comp isn't something that would necessarily lose to theirs. Although, where is Ana? Right here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ana has a fucking icicle in her eye. Her other eye,
my
too.
God.
This poor bitch.
She's going full Matrix.
Poor
She's a little
bitch.
slow on that one.
Okay, so you guys trade picks right here. Unfortunately, they picked your Ana. Okay, so I like what's happening for the most part right here because you have this bitch, and I almost wish your Ana played a little bit further back, but I think she was trying to save your asses. But your McCree and your, I guess McCree is technically just grabbing a health pack. I don't know where he was playing before, but your Mei and your Brig are playing around your Ana, which is like super good because the comp they're playing pretty much means your entire team has to play as one or you're fucked. Because if not, they're gonna, like, you guys are split right here, and they're just gonna fuck you off one at a time. I don't like that word that I just used. Yeah, no, so you guys are gonna lose this 100 times out of 10 if you don't play as, like, one solid unit. Honestly, you could just go, like, a Death Volley comp, because Dive doesn't do well into it because they can't really hard focus one person. And you guys, if your comms are good and clear, you can hard focus one person. And you're gonna absolutely fucking demolish them.
Can you give us an example of a death ball comp? Like what we would have to change on
Like,
this team comp right here?
Fucking, you drop the Brig for a Lucio, sorry. Go Moira instead of Ana. You can keep the Reinzar if you really want to. There's nothing that's like stopping that. And then you do, honestly your DPS aren't the worst in the world for it, but hold on, I don't even remember what DPS characters are. What are the DPS characters?
What?
I'm
Like
gonna
all of
I'm
them?
gonna say which DPS characters work well for it. I just don't remember what all the DPS characters are. I do this all the time. Reaper would have been insane, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say Reaper, Genji, Doom. I don't know if they would be good.
Genji not the greatest. Doom not really either.
Would Tracer be good?
Hanzo could be good. It's like it's close to mid range, but not flanky characters. Are
Okay.
mostly like what you would go for. Soldier could be insane. Symmetra would actually fucking dominate. Which is the only time I'll ever give you props to use Symmetra. Tracer, you would just have to play like a weird playstyle. Same with Genji, but like I wouldn't trust it unless you're really, really good at them. Mei, like I honestly think Mei Reaper with it would have been your best bet. If you play Mei Reaper and then switch Lucio, switch Ana to Moira, you guys probably would have fucking dominated them.
I think the idea was Mei Reaper, and then we decided that McCree was probably better than Reaper because we expected the Echo.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is the Echo can't the Echo can't do anything if you kill their entire team. That's like, it
Oh.
sounds like stupid logic, but it's like actually like the logic you should be thinking with. If they have one person who's carrying and you can't counter them. Why is this all glossy? Okay. If you have like, it sounds, so like if they're playing like, if they have like an insanely good Widowmaker, but the rest of their team's like mediocre, and you guys try but cannot counter their Widow, then the best bet is to ignore their Widow and counter everything else on their team, and then the Widow cannot 1v6. Like, you could have a GM, fucking, not even GM, top 500 Widowmaker, or top 500 whatever, and they could not 1v6 a team. It's just, like, impossible.
Didn't
It's-
Loser Fruit say something like that?
What?
There's this meme that Loser Fruit says Genji can't 1v6, and then right after that, a Genji 1v6s.
It's, like, if they have an ultimate, like, maybe, depending on who they are. But for the most part, they cannot 1v6, and they never will. Especially when you're
Yeah.
playing teams who are around the same SR, they're never going to 1v6. So, like, it's okay to ignore... Okay, I don't want to say ignore their counter, or their carry, but that's pretty much what you're doing. You're pretty much just countering everything else so that their counter can't counter, or their carry can't counter you. It's a weird strategy. Yeah, you guys just get donked on by their alt economy, to be completely honest. You guys took too long to build alts because you were getting donked on. So their alt economy is just infinitely better than yours.
Ready for battle.
Oh fuck, I should not have done that. Okay.
Check the objective.
Also, Lijiang's like really good for brawl. Also, I just want to add this little tidbit in because as a support main, it's something that sucks, but if you are consistently dying to dive, then you cannot play Widow, or you cannot play Ana into it. It's like, I'm an Ana main, and it hurts my soul to say it, but you just can't. There's like a point where your survivability cannot be put on the shoulders of your teammates, and if you start hitting that point, you're not helping your team at all, and you're like a super important part of your team. So you're kind of actively throwing. It sucks, but it do be true.
The objective.
Again with the jumping, do you guys not get like motion sickness?
I do it because when I play Hanzo, I'm always expecting my second jump. So I'm always hyped to get, you know, a little movement. But I can't speak for others.
Like, they do it too. It hurts. Keep on the ground.
It's all about that APM, yo.
Okay, so, right here, you guys are doing so well, okay? You guys turned, looked, destroyed their Winston, and then you got a second pick right off the bat. Sorry. Okay, and now you're pushing them. But I don't... Okay. You need to make sure you're calling out. If they have like a character like Ball doesn't do much if you're on him because he's just gonna roll around. So your best bet is to make sure you have eyes on him at all time because look, he's just doing a roly boy, right? But then he leaves and it's no big deal. He's just annoying. And it's the moment you guys stop caring about Ball that he starts killing you guys. Also, you can't use nades on yourself too much. It's like one of the most important parts of Ana's kit. So you either need to ask your other support for health or find health packs or position in a way that's gonna make you not take as much damage. Okay. So, this is just the greatest example of horrible positioning by the entire team. Okay. Maybe you could get away with this. Maybe. I'm not gonna say you should get away with it, but you might get away with it. But you're probably not going to because you're only looking at this dumb Ball who hasn't really done much but annoy you guys. McCree, you're not even in the fight. Like, you're just, I don't know what you're doing over here. You're just, like, taking a nap. Brig, you are looking at a wall. I'm sorry, you are looking at a wall. Your back is to where they shoot. Like, that one's painful. Ana, you are literally in their team. You are in their team, and this is a bad spot to be, mama. Ryan? You are probably the only person who is actually in a good spot. But unfortunately, it's not a good spot because your teammate just got cut off from you. Zarya, you're looking in the right direction. You're going for the right target. But you just let yourself get a little bit too detached from your Reinhardt. And... yeah, you guys kind of just fucked yourselves over here. I don't know what that charge was, Cupcake. I don't know. McCree's in the fight now, but now he's dead. There goes May. You guys let that Ball dick on you. How did Ana not die earlier?
I want to say I gave her a bubble, but I don't think I did.
I don't know how she just died. Okay. There's no way in hell you told your team you were slamming there. You know how I know there's no way in hell? Because none of your team is over there. Again, Brig, wrong direction, sweetheart. I get what you're doing, but wrong direction. May, that is never gonna reach that Ball, and he is about to go off the edge anyways. McCree.
Bad positioning, man. That can't be good.
It's okay, McCree. It's okay. Ana, you're semi-okay, just get the fuck out of the bubble. You happen to be looking the wrong way, too. If that Brig can't take this little guy right here, then they probably shouldn't be playing Brig, or the game.
I wanted to protect the backline. Should I save my bubble for the right?
I'm just saying, like, I get what your thought process was, but the monkey has, like, no health, and he's antied, and absolutely nobody can get to him. And your Reinhardt is in here, 3v1ing. One of them's two of them are fucking supports, and one of them's a tracer. Look at that movement, though. That person's kind of a genius. Yeah, so I guess you can assume you know what's gonna happen here. Look, y'all, I get why you turned for this monkey, but there's a point where your backline can take care of itself. And it's pretty much, you need to find the right balance of what your backline's capable of versus what they're not capable of, because they are very much capable of taking care of a monkey on their own when they have a Mei, but they're very much not capable of taking care of a ball with a monkey. But the ball is dead, and so is your McCree. And now your Reinhardt is.
During this whole map, we had a really weird disconnect between the front line and the back line.
I think the whole screen.
Probably because me and Cupcake just never play tank.
That little shitter. You hear that voice line?
I didn't hear it. I can't hear the game.
Okay, so you guys have a decision to make right here. You have a McCree and you have a Brig. And you have an Ana. And they have a Tracer. And they have a Ball. And they have a Monkey. So, your decision right here is one of you fuckers has to babysit little old grandma here. And it's your choice of who. Personally, I prefer the McCree do it just because McCree probably has a better chance of actually killing Tracer, like confirming the kill. And Brig also isn't going to heal as much when she's stuck with the Ana. Whereas if she moves forward, she has a better chance of healing the backline. That being said, Ana, you're just a little bit too far from your team right now. And then, Ana, sweetheart, you can't leave your McCree alone if he's gonna come babysit you. It's a mutual babysitting. And then, so not only do we leave the McCree on their own, but then everybody forgets that Brig went back to save them, and we just kind of leave Brig on their own. And then this is just they just need to die quicker. Ana, your rotation has to be, you have to stick yourself into your Reinhardt's ass, or into your Zarya's ass, or into your Mei's ass. You have to stick yourself in somebody's ass. That is the only way you get out of this alive. You're like illegal drugs.
Lesson to take away from this.
Exactly. Exactly. You're like fucking illegal drugs. You're smuggling yourself in somebody's asshole. Get ready for it. Because if not, this Tracer's fucking you up. And that's exactly what she did. Why did we suicide button? Okay, McCree's ult, there's just a point where you don't even bother trying it. It fucking sucks, dude.
I think I actually swapped with the full McCree ult at one point, because I was like, oh, that's not even useful.
Okay, again, Ryan, call every single ult. Your ult is so game changing. It needs a call though, but unfortunately, y'all are just fucky here because Mei's not enough to save that. Yeah, I really wish that we had, fuck. I wish that we had the Sieta scrim settings going, because I want to see how many deaths Ana has right there, because that's gotta be a lot. Like I said, if you can't keep yourself alive at a certain point on Ana, get off Ana. It's like hurting your team.
I'm gonna head on out now.
That's
it was
fine.
really fun meeting you though.
Yeah, I'm like recording this and I'll upload it if you ever want to like go back and watch it. And then I'll like post something in a little bit about the next scrim time. so you'll see it like a lot earlier.
Alright. Bye.
See ya.
Can I ask a really quick question? How many games did you guys play?
Um,
7.
how many? I missed the first one.
It's codes +1. So 7 tonight.
7. Yeah. So it's usually like
Okay.
2-hour scrim blocks.
Yeah, cool.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay.
I'm still here. I'm just gonna mute myself because I'm gonna be eating.
Oh, that's fine. I feel it. Okay, so this.
I know I'm gonna get Cheetos too, actually. So I'll be right back.
Imagine. Okay, so this is like the big one where I think Diva would have been a way better pick for off tank than Zarya, and you're gonna see how much this Ashe gets from her dynamites. Honestly, this Ashe just dominated you guys, which is unfortunate. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was watching her aim and she didn't have very good aim. Okay, so the thing I don't like here is you guys had first pick and you guys back out, and then Ryan, sweet summer child, you are the front line. You just left your Zarya to die. There you go. Oh, you came back. That's actually genius. Too bad Anna's already dead. Where is Hanzo? Oh, they got taken out by the fucking Zen.
He did the quick one too, but not enough.
Right? Okay, so you got that res off. That's good. Okay. I will say, I'm not a fan of Mercy right here. And that's just because, one, controversial statement maybe. If you're a Widowmaker and you need a Mercy pocket, do not play Widowmaker because you are not a Widowmaker, you are a shitface. Widow can already one-shot. She really does not need a Mercy pocket. Sorry, those people are distracting me. Widow should be winning a duel versus Ashe 9 times out of 10 if they're not swapped to a different counter, because you literally only need to hit Ashe once, and she needs to hit you more than once unless she's pocketed. Even so, then it's just leveling the playing field, so you should still be beating her. If you're losing a sniper battle, switch off a sniper. You're hurting your team. I say that all the time, and I genuinely mean it. As somebody who plays sniper, please switch off a sniper if you're losing a sniper battle. I also don't like the Hanzo pick here either, and the reason why is because Hanzo doesn't really contest anybody on their team directly. The only thing you really contest is they have a fat ass hog that you can shoot. Other than that, you're probably gonna get dunked on. Hanzo lives do not matter. I'm sorry.
It's just a good Hanzo map, so I was like, hell yeah.
No, this is a good sniper map, and I'm talking like Widow Ashe map. This is an insanely good Widow Ashe map. This is also a really good Flyer map, but I would not play Flyer against their pocketed Ashe, because their Ashe got hard pocketed. So tanks just need to be more aggressive on that push, and your fucking DPS probably need to swap. Okay, so if you get killed by, I don't know if you call this out, but you should be calling this out. If you get absolutely demolished by somebody who's literally like in here spawn camping, please call it out, because your supports are right there and they are wide open to that. Again, look at this. She's shooting, and the only one that's turned around is Zarya, who's not going to be able to do shit. This is astounding. You guys just let this one person get in your backline and absolutely fuck you over, which is unfortunate. And then at this point, you guys just need to get out or die. Probably get out. Unfortunate, dogs. Oh, this is a long ass map too, isn't it? I'm pretty sure you guys get it to third point, and they also get it to third point. Well, I don't think you get it all the way. I don't remember.
It was a painful game.
It's a fucking
That's
long
all I
one.
remember.
I know it's a long one. Oh, it's only 14 minutes. Thought it was longer. I'm splitting this up. Okay. So, again, I get why you're playing now, but before they put those mines down, you guys, like, really need to be more aggressive. Their Ashe isn't playing high ground right now. Like, you guys could honestly donk on them pretty easily. Nobody's taking high ground, and you're gonna win the ground battle almost every time. Oh no, this is really bad positioning. Please get out.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Ryan, keep your face forward. Oh, Ryan does a little bit. Nope, Ryan's turning. Oh, what was that? Her voice sounds weird as fuck, Hanzo ulting. Did you guys hear that? Was that just me?
I remember hearing it in game and it was very strange.
That sounds weird
I
as
couldn't hear it at all.
frick. She, like, doesn't sound, I don't know. It sounds like they sped it up. Like, well, I guess
She
it's
never
sped up.
sounds right, let's be honest.
She sounds weird, yeah. I don't like her.
Neither do I.
I'm not a big fan of Echo, but... Okay, yeah. You guys just need to regroup here. You're getting staggered super hard and nobody's regrouping. And please, for the love of God, swap off the Widow.
We were not flexible with our picks like throughout the entire night.
Yeah, so... When it comes to picks, DPS have to be the most flexible, which sucks if you're a DPS player because you have to learn way more heroes than everybody else, but you have to be more flexible because if you're not, you're fucking your team over. Tanks, you can honestly force most tank comps sometimes, which is totally unfair, but that's just how it is. But yeah, no. Supports, you can get away with it sometimes, but I will almost always recommend having a defense ult because it really hurts your team if you don't. I personally don't like running it without a defensive ult unless you have the capability of stopping an ult before it starts. I don't know, like, so, like, there are occasional times where I trust us not to have a support ult on Sparrow because Genjis don't usually get a lot done versus us just because we all, like, collapse on them. So, like, I don't care that we don't have a support ult for that, but when they're running, like, a Zarya... Actually, no, we usually don't play together either. That's why we don't really need support ults, though. But, like, some teams... that's unfortunate. That right there was just a positioning thing. And y'all are still, like, staggering yourselves hard. Okay, also, I get that you're getting picks right here, Widow, but you have been getting hard countered this entire game, and you probably should have swapped before now. Like I said before, D.Va is a really, really, really good Ashe counter. Without Dynamite, Ashe is kind of dog shit. And is way better just playing a different sniper. And Genji can counter Ashe if you're good enough at him. Or if their Ashe is bad enough. Pretty much you have to be a better Genji than they are an Ashe to counter. Because Ashe can sometimes have the advantage just because she can coach gun away. And she can also dynamite you, which hurts a lot. But you guys can also, like, run different tank comps. You don't have to run, like, traditional, like, Rein Zar. Like, Rein Winston works for a lot of teams. And it's, like, double main tank, but it's, like, pretty good if they have an enemy sniper who's doing a good job. You can also run a Sig to fuck her sightlines up. Which it's not like a perfect counter, but it can be very, very helpful.
Really quick question for you. When you're saying like switch off things, how long do you give it into a game before you go, this isn't working?
I would say do like 1 or 2 pushes with them, and
And
even
if it's just not happening, go.
yeah,
time to
or
change.
I would say a little bit more than 1. So with like 2 pushes, you should probably be able to tell if it's gonna work or not, because if you're like not getting anywhere with it, it's definitely not gonna work.
Okay.
And it's like, for snipers, I honestly wouldn't give it more than 2 duels. If you lose 2 duels in a row, you're probably the worst sniper, which is really hard to come to terms with, especially if you pretty much only play sniper. Me. So it's like,
Relatable
it hurts kind of, because you're like, oh shit, this person's better than me. But it's also just like the cold hard truth that you're gonna lose that sniper duel, and they're not even gonna waste any time killing you. So you should switch to something that takes their attention away, or at the very least play differently. It doesn't work as well with Widow, but with like Ashe, you can play differently to damage their tanks and their backline, as opposed to trying to go against the sniper head on. As far as like tanks go, it's a little bit harder to tell if it's working or not, because sometimes it's genuinely not the tank's fault, which is amazing, but it's not. So like I think you should be able to judge if you're contributing or not. And if you're not, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, if you don't have any medals and you're probably not contributing. But if you look at your stats and you compare it to what you normally do, and it seems worse, then you're probably not contributing anything, and you should probably swap. So like, use yourself as your own guideline to like how you're doing, because
Use myself as a benchmark.
yeah, because like if you try to be like, oh well, I don't have gold damage, but you still have like really high damage compared to what you used to, or like really high picks on Widow, then you're probably doing something right, and it's probably not like a you problem.
Okay, cool.
And it's like, it's kind of hard to be like really introspective, because you kind of have to admit to yourself if you're doing something or not doing something. And it's like the worst thing in the world to be like, okay, I'm kind of not doing anything for the team. But it's definitely something you have to get used to in like a team setting.
That makes sense.
See, that was a good pick.
Swapped off Ashe so fast.
I'm also totally fine with, if you're losing the sniper duel on offense and then you switch to defense or vice versa, you can try again, because sometimes it honestly is a positioning thing. Like, I'm better at defense on Ashe on this map than I am offense. So like, if I'm defense and I'm doing good and then I swap to offense and I'm doing bad, then I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't play Ashe here, even though it worked last round. So like, it's okay to feel like you can swap your comps after you switch from offense to defense, because it's like a whole different, like, you're aiming for different angles, you have to take different like high ground, you have to like whatever. So it's like different, and it's different enough where it's okay to try a different thing. And maps too. Like, if you're losing a Whoa! If you're losing a sniper duel, then it's totally okay to swap, like, next map. If you have to swap off a sniper for a map and then swap back on next map, it's okay to try it next map. And that goes for like any hero, honestly. If you feel like you're not doing well on a hero on a certain map, it's okay to swap off them for literally just the map. Because sometimes, honestly, maps just suck. Like, I cannot play Ana on Ilios. I don't fucking know why, but I just can't. So like, I feel way more comfortable swapping off for that. Ooh. Hold on. Where's the second tank? Why is the second tank back here? Why is he not facing this way?
He's gotta warm up. He's stretching before the battle.
This is crazy. Okay, so also, I feel like this is a good note to add. When your main tank dies, because your main tank is probably gonna die before your off tank, and it's more of an if rather than a, or it's more of a when rather than an if, because your tanks, okay, as a tank main, you kind of have to get used to dying, because you're gonna do it a lot. there's only so much your supports can do. Your job is literally just to enable your DPS, which sounds kind of shitty, but it really is. You're supposed to make space, as much fucking space as you can, okay? So you're gonna run in here, probably gonna die at some point. When your main tank dies, your off tank becomes your main tank. You are now the front line. Congratulations, buddy. You just got promoted to fucking Dick Dog, okay? Dick Dog gets
You
Dick
just got
Dog.
promoted, now you go die too.
Yeah, exactly. You literally just got your invitation to hell.
there,
You are
ladies.
dying. Okay, so you become
Mine's just died. You're
main
like, hey,
tank.
save some rope for the rest of us, dude.
Right? So, and the same thing with supports. If your main support dies, congratulations, off support. You are now responsible for keeping every single person on your team alive. I don't give a damn who you're playing with, and I don't give a damn where you are. If you are Zenyatta, you better be ready to throw balls like you're a fucking whore, because it's happening. Like, it's some support duos it's okay with, but sometimes it's really difficult to balance. So you need to learn, when you play off support, this is for any off supports on the team, you need to learn how to balance playing off support like a main support and playing off support like a genuine off support, because there are going to be times where they're going to dive the living hell out of your main support, and your main support's going to die a lot, and you're going to have to take over that main support role for a few seconds, and they are crucial seconds. So you need to be ready to, say, if you're playing Lucio and you kind of read it a lot, or you're playing with the DPS, you got to run all the way back to your tanks, and you got to make sure they're alive. Mercy, I feel like you can get away with it pretty easily. If you're running double main support, you get away with it. But, like, if you're running, like, Zen and Lucio and Brig, you kind of have to learn to adopt, like, a new playstyle just while they're dead. And the same goes for, like, off tank, because it's rough. It's rough living. DPS, you're kind of interchangeable, not gonna lie. Your lives don't matter as much. I'm sorry. Okay. You 112% overextended. I get... So, DPS rule number 1. You play to your tanks. You are your tank's bitch. You play to them. They do not play to you. If you move forward and overextend, you are going to die. Congratulations. You played yourself, because you are dead. Your tanks are not going to play to you. They're going to play to themselves, and you have to learn to play around them. You have to play at their pace, and they decide the pace. So yeah, it's frustrating sometimes when your tanks don't press W, but you are stuck to their pace. That is it. Because the minute you start playing faster, you're dead. And if you're playing slower, you're not in the fight.
I was like not in the right mindset today. Well, like, I was in a fine mindset. I just like forgot how to play. Like,
I do be
I
like
usually stick on the Rhine, but I was like,
Okay.
what am I supposed to?
We're gonna zoom in on this one, okay? Little Miss Main Support Ana here. Your gun is literally sticking through. It literally looks like Reaper's dong. It literally looks like his dong. You are way too close to the action here, baby. You are in it like, I don't even fucking know. I don't know how to describe what you were doing right now. But it is not the correct thing to do. You are one with the fucking Iris Reaper here. Like, you're fucking, you backed yourself into a corner. You are not in a good spot, and you are going to get yourself killed. If you are playing Ana, you position yourself far away from the fight, because you have a nifty little thing called Zoom. You are a sniper that heals people instead of kills people. It's beautiful.
You're saying that when both the tanks have died, that the DPS don't step up and become the tanks? And
Okay,
then Ana
when
becomes
both of the
the
tanks
DPS?
die, this is
Pardon?
the golden rule. When both of the tanks die, the next person in line to become tank is Bob. That's when you
True.
Bob. No. Okay, for real though, whichever is the heftier of the two DPS or the non-flanker is going to become your front line. And you only take that battle if you're up. Do not take that, or if it's like winnable. Do not take that battle if they have like their entire team up. Back the fuck out. But it is okay for your DPS to become your front line if your tanks are dead and their tanks are dead, or they have 2 down, or their supports are down, or whatever. If it's winnable, it's okay to take that fight. You just have to play... Okay, so like the worst part about it is you have to actually play smarter than them if you kill their supports and they kill your tanks or something like that. Because if you run into them, even with your supports alive, you're probably going to get absolutely murked on. So you pretty much have to have like perfect target calls. And like if you're playing, let's say like you have like I don't know. You have Reaper and who's your second? Widow. Widow's probably gonna have to get on high ground right here and absolutely start donking whoever the fuck their tank is. And Reaper's gonna have to run directly into them and then like fade out, get heals, run back into them. Like you're gonna have to play some mind game shit, or you're gonna die.
Am I here? Am I not? You don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. If I don't know what I'm doing.
If you, I was about to play that. That's my favorite line.
Yeah, that was just a bad peek on your part. And then our Ryan over here didn't know what he was doing either.
He was like, oh, I charged an echo.
They
I forgot
fucked
they could
those mines so
fly.
bad. See, but look at this. This is beautiful because, oh, anxiety. You okay there, buddy?
It's got a
this
little bit of anxiety.
Right? This is beautiful because you guys backed up, but not all the way. And you recognize that it was like a soft regroup, not a full regroup. I fucking love this Reaper skin.
That's why I used it.
Why?
It's nice.
Yeah, why does this not exist in like real life? Like, okay. I'm mad about it. Not even gonna talk about it. Why does this not exist in real life? Because it's scoliosis! Her butt is
Where's
so
her
flat!
ass?
What is
Is
going
that
on?
fat skin?
They nerfed her.
What is going on? Where is it?
Do you remember there was something about it in like season 1 when you used to scope in her ass would get bigger? So
Yeah.
I remember that.
Dude, I don't, like, she's got, like, hips, though. She's
Ooh.
got hips.
She got something else.
Mercy carrying the thickness of the team right now because
Er,
Widow's just letting us
honestly.
down.
I don't know, young Anna.
Wait, she's
That's not
actually
even
got
young,
insane
but-
ups. She's jumping like a meter off the ground.
Yeah, right? Holy
That's like taller than
shit.
she stands.
Dude, let's be honest. The real thickness
poor little
carrier
granny.
just died. That's
How
frightening.
are her knees keeping up with that?
Right? Okay, it's her cape. It's letting her fly. Look at this fucking... Okay, fuck
I don't
me.
even need guns, bro.
Fuck the
Ripper's
environment,
just
I
like,
guess.
Fuck me, right? Like, just... I'm here, deal with it.
I saw the guy
Fuck
jump
the
off map, and I was
environment.
like,
We,
this is
we love global warming here. Okay, you guys get donked on by this fucking Ash. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to see who that Widow was aiming at. Did she just get taken out by a Zen? That's embarrassing.
That was an echo. Oh, I you know, somebody's got to catch the bullets, you know.
It's a little bit embarrassing.
I got res, you know. It all works out. The math is fine.
Ryan, if you would have put your shield up there, your Mercy probably wouldn't have died. Oh, that does
Yo,
not look
that's
like
yeah.
a
It's because they don't have
position.
any shields, you know.
No, see, that's a little bit dramatic. Come on.
Right? You're only dead. Come on.
That's a great
Also,
choice, actually.
please don't play low ground as Widow.
Yeah, all that.
You should be trying to take out, like, their Ash 112%.
Okay, what?
How is the team so shook by a Bob? I don't get what's happening.
That on fast forward just then being pushed
Yeah,
into
that
there
was
was
so good.
brilliant.
Okay, so... what? Ryan? If you do not move forward right here... Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Zen's kinda scary. Like, Zens scare me. Zens scare the shit out of me. Good Zens are the scariest thing in the world. Nobody can convince me otherwise.
I become the main character. I lead the
Okay.
charge.
I believe in you.
I'm sorry. Anna. Anna, baby, love. What? Sweetheart. It's just
Well,
not
they
a
got
good
that whole
spot for
bean
you.
of the asshole thing on low.
You did get the Zen back, though. Look at that.
I think I got Sanus.
I thought you got killed by the Mercy for
You're like, hold on one second.
He's like, oh, what the fuck? Okay. That's Mercy's like, bitch, I'm out. She's fucking diving under you. This is the single grade.
That's a great
I'm
screenshot.
screenshotting that and I'm putting it in fucking Academy 1 right
Wait.
now.
What was that? What's up with it? Is it her headband that's like floating?
It's her, doesn't she have a halo?
Yeah,
I
but
think
like
so.
it looks like it's through her face.
Oh my god, no, I see what you're saying. Oh, that's disturbing.
Oh, look at her. Not as bad as the Moira neck from earlier, though.
Dude, your guns are going down.
You know what that looks like? Have you seen when people like break their neck and they have the full like head
Oh,
brace?
oh my god, it does. Dude, the way she's hunched right now is so
Hey, are
scary.
you okay, Mercy? Do you need some help?
Dude, she looks pregnant.
She's like, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh no. Okay, this Ash is
sorry.
so fucked here. Can you imagine being this Ash and just seeing this? Half health. Fucking Reinhardt just charging in. Oh, she had a coach gun. That's not as scary. Okay. So something happened right here where the team got so split, you let an Echo as Reinhardt come straight at your fucking Widowmaker, who's for some reason hiding in a room. I don't know what that's about. And you're... Sigma's having a 1v1 with anxiety over here. Fucking throwing chairs and shit.
Don't do it, Sigma. It never ends well.
I don't even... Okay, Sigma, I love you, but you're definitely not hitting this bitch.
The anxiety was controlling him, you could say.
Right? Widowmaker, I am so sorry. Yeah. That was a bad slam. You should not have committed an ult to that at all. And it's unfortunate that you did. Also, you guys are just holding this comp for way too fucking long. Like, you haven't got a lot done in the time that you've had, and you're still holding the same comp. Widow, I'm just so very sorry, but Widow's just not the pick for you here. Really, really isn't. I think you come out with Kree. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Kree's a better pick. Do you guys get past first point? You sure that, like, what? How? Okay. So, you guys, I don't want to say that you didn't win this, but they kind of gave this one to you. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but their support player switched to DPS and their DPS player switched to support.
Yeah.
To give you guys like a leg up or something. And I don't know if you guys caught on to that.
Someone was talking about like, oh, did they swap roles? And I was like, oh, I haven't been paying attention.
It was not like it wasn't in a way that would hurt you guys. It was technically in a way that would help you guys. I don't like that they did it, because they definitely didn't say anything about doing it. But they definitely did it.
Honestly, these guys are like really polite. I thought they would leave because they were just stomping us in the state for the whole screen.
Yeah, so...
We're supposed to kill Bob, right? Like...
No! Bob has a 6 shield on him. He ain't doing shit.
Yeah, but I was like, they got the people in front,
The
right?
most,
And
the
plus-
most I would expect to see you guys interact with this Bob,
Wait, what? Did I stop playing Overwatch?
I guess. The most, okay, so you two up here are fucking geniuses, okay? Little old grandma, genius. You can probably turn around and eat whatever Bob's sending your way. You do not have to kill Bob, though. You can honestly just play on this side of the payload, and he can't touch you. And he can't hit the supports because of where he's at. Which means he would just be sitting back there.
Oh, I immediately turned around, it looks like, actually.
Yeah, you
I couldn't decide what to do with Bob.
immediately turned for that Bob, and I don't know why. There was so much focus on Bob. You guys all hit Q. And I
Okay.
get why you hit Q, but it was winnable before at least 2 of you guys hit Q, if not 3 of you.
I was like, this, I don't really need this Q, but I was like, it's overtime and I just want to win. This is the map where I was like messaging you,
Yeah.
where I was sad.
I'm like also not a super big fan of the Reaper pick.
Honestly, I just felt like I wasn't getting things done with the Hanzo.
Like,
I didn't know what to play.
I don't
I don't know
know.
what to do.
Here's why I'm not super big into the Reaper pick. Because the way you guys are playing is like one of
Not
you,
aggressive enough for a Reaper.
that too, but one of you guys is like targeting supports, or not supports. One of you guys is targeting their DPS, like countering their DPS. One of you guys is attempting to counter their tank line, but it's like I don't think that the DPS matchup was even enough for one of you guys to focus on countering them. If that makes sense, like their DPS were kind of like doing work. So I think you either both needed to commit to countering their tank line, or you both needed to commit to countering their back line. And it's like McCree could have potentially been countering their tank line, but the way that he was being played was definitely more of a backline counter.
How many of the people in this are trying out right now? Just out of
Everybody is
curiosity.
tryouts right now. So we had like a thing. I like pretty much reversed everybody to tryouts because of like there was like a lot of like discrepancies in like scheduling, and then there was also just like a lot of people who weren't getting along. So I was like, we're just gonna all be tryouts and start it over.
But like in this group, how many of the people have played together before? Because that's also like.
Oh, so in this group, I think Nomez has, I think 2 of them. I don't.
What?
Yeah,
Have
so
you ever
Me
played?
and
like a-
Gomez,
Yeah, you've
me
never
and
played
Gomez
with like
play
Yo
together a
Man, Mom.
and I only really see Omelette and Super CJ Man at scrims.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
that's like a thing though, right? Like, because people aren't used to each other's play styles, and it's still
Yeah.
sort of
Absolutely.
feeling people out.
Why is he always the most dramatic motherfucker?
I reload
Because
after
he's
every
Reaper,
shot,
damn
so.
it! Like his literal name
It's
is
my job,
dramatic.
yeah.
Like,
He has like such a nice haircut though. Like I really like his haircut.
he looks real good in this. Not gonna lie.
He does. He looks so good in that
Like,
skin.
It's
But then it's
accurate
like-
representation of myself.
If he wasn't an edgelord, he would be way better. But then it's like, oh, I gotta stick with the soldier. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, Super, you kind of look like you have no idea what you're doing right here. That charge did not help your case.
Nobody knows what's going on for the entirety of the scrim.
Yeah, so, okay. Omelette is doing a smart thing that he's making more difficult by doing how he's doing it. I don't know why you went back here to shoot somebody up here when you could have gone up here to shoot somebody that's up here. And it would have arguably taken the same amount of time. And you probably would have actually killed them. Okay. I'm gonna stop stopping so much. Why did you stand still?
Oh, I was typing. Yeah, I was
Oh
not even.
my
Not only was I
God.
typing, I was tabbed out. I was like, you know what?
You deserved that one.
Yeah, I was like, I'll probably die here.
Okay, so I don't like how the way the tanks are playing. You guys are like, you're moving in and you're letting them move in. When if they have a Reinhardt, you should be in front of this Reinhardt pushing him back. You should kill him before you move past him. He should be dead. He should not be getting this much space without his team fall. I don't know how to explain that. So like he's just moving past you and you're moving past him, and neither one of you are paying attention to each other. And it makes absolutely zero sense. You need to be head to head with this bitch. Kill him and then move past him. I am not even going to comment on this high noon because I cannot express my disappointment. This is the biggest clusterfuck right here. This was such a clusterfuck. I don't even know what was going on.
Circuits engaged.
Okay, Mr. Grandpa, gotta use the bathroom. You deserved that one. You moved into their entire team in front of them to ult in the most obvious way.
Oh, okay, I remember. Yeah. Okay, no, what happened was I saw two squishies and I instinctively pressed Q. I didn't even think. I just pressed Q. I
So
knew D.Va was out of mech, and I was like,
Reaper
okay.
has a good ult that can work very well, but Reaper is also a big chonky man. Well, he's not chonky, but he's a thick boy. Okay, he's a pretty thick boy. Talk
Yeah.
about thick.
Speaking.
He's a thick boy. So Ana can sleep him very easily.
Mhm.
Especially in an alt where he's standing mostly still or moving at a very slow pace.
Man, I thought I was behind shield probably. I don't know. I thought I would melt the squishies.
Also, I'm just gonna say this while it's going. I never, ever want to hear you guys be like, oh, this person is just... Not this person. This character is just too overpowered. That is not an excuse for losing a fight. Especially to a character that really...
Isn't.
Echo is very easily counterable. And, like,
60 seconds remaining.
I encourage all of you... You guys let your Ana die there. I encourage all of you, next time, if you're free, when Darth Vader scrims, to watch that and see how, when Echo is played, she dies every 10 seconds or is not played. It's just...
30 seconds remaining.
You can't blame it on a character being overpowered. It just means you gotta counter them harder, right? And also, I don't even want to hear it because there was almost no time where you guys were running double hit scan. If you were running double hit scan and still having this problem, then maybe I'll take it. But, like, no, you know what? If you're running double hit scan and a D.Va and they're still not dying, I'll take it. Anything less than that, then I'm not believing you.
I don't really think that we complained too much. I think someone just made a passive comment. Unless I wasn't paying attention to it.
It kept coming up a few times. That may really do be hating on you.
I think that's actually a different May. I think as soon as you lock in May, your mentality changes.
Your mentality does change. Okay, Ilios. Ilios was also bad, wasn't it? Oh. Done. Why won't it let me view? Oh, I didn't leave game. Was Ilios bad?
Arriving at Ilios.
I think it was actually one of the quickest losses we've had.
I don't remember Ilios either.
It was really bad. Their Genji styled on us on this.
Oh, no, I do. Okay, so to be fair, I think Ilios is like a map that requires a lot of coordination. And it do be hurting.
3, 2,
Just because of like the way the map is set up in general, it's really easy to lose sights on your teammates. First off, I'm not 100% about the ball pick, to be completely honest. But we're just gonna start off with that. I also want to start this off by saying I am not at all in agreement with a Widow pick here. Just because you know that their dive is strong from the last control map you played. And if you're going off just what they played. So when you're in scrims, you need to start thinking about the team that you're playing against too. Because for the first map, obviously you don't know the team. But like as you go further into maps, you're going to kind of know what comp they're comfortable on. Right? Like they usually show pretty quickly like who they're good on and who they're not good on. And you should be able to play around the counters. So yeah, their dive is insane. Welcome back. Their dive is insane. So you guys are gonna have to. I would not suggest counter diving their dive because their dive is way too good. Also, I feel like we kind of already established this, but I do not like the Ana pick versus their dive at all. They also just didn't tap point right there. Oh, no. It's on. So I think you guys need to go pretty much like full anti-dive versus their dive, because their dive's too good to counter it unless you're more coordinated, and I just don't think. Also, I don't like that res there if nobody's moved forward with you.
What would counter dive look like then on this map?
Okay, so
Ideally.
I would want to see a hog. You could play Orisa, but you don't have to play Orisa. You can get away with a Reinhardt. Or even Sig. Sig's not like 100% perfect, but if you have somebody who's more comfortable, honestly, at this point, for main tank, it comes down to what they're most comfortable on out of the three. The only thing with Orisa is you're gonna need a Lucio, because Lucio is, you're gonna need that speed boost because Orisa's fucking slow. Reinhardt, you might need it, but you can probably get away without it. And then you're gonna run Moira. Bap gets fucking destroyed in dive. I know that some people are like, oh, run Bap so you don't die. Bap gets destroyed by dive. So do not run Bap. But I would say Moira Lucio or Moira Brig, depending on what your other main tank is. And as far as DPS goes, the McCree is a good pick. Anything with CC is honestly good. May Reaper is also still really good on this map.
I ended up swapping from McCree to May for the Genji eventually.
Yeah,
But I think it was too
I
late.
will say though that I think the Soldier's the bigger problem than the McCree, just because McCree is good. He's got like a good stun, and he can counter their Blueface Avatar Smurf bitch.
Echo.
Echo, that bitch. You can counter Echo
Wally.
with McCree. So, unless you want to completely ignore it and just go for the rest of their team, McCree definitely works. And like I said, Reaper May is like really good against their team. Also, since they have a Lucio, I would honestly prefer having you guys having a Lucio, because if not, they're gonna pretty much control all engagements. And if you have a Lucio, you have that defensive ult. Whereas if you have... Oh, I was going to mention this while you guys were playing, too. It's okay to use an ult to stop Genji that's not a defensive ult. It's okay to throw a grab out to kill Genji, or to stop his ult. It's okay to throw a Mei ult to stop his ult. I throw Bobs to kill Genjis all the time in ult. Like, it is okay to use your ult to kill Genji in ult. It is honestly worth it, because Nanoblade is massive leech. And look at this man. He literally got Blade so quickly.
He was styling on us really hard this
He
match.
was dialing.
He had Blade like every fight.
He really did.
So see a Genji solo. Got it.
Yeah, well, like, it's totally okay to dedicate an ult to kill that Genji, especially if their Genji is very obviously their carry. I'm not gonna lie,
I don't think I would prefer.
their balls also like insane.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
You went
I thought I went May, but I
Pharah.
actually went Pharaoh.
Okay, Pharah's not the worst pick here, but Pharah's not the best pick either.
Score.
I was like, how do we get out of this? And it seems like every time we scrim and we're in a bad spot, you're like, you should have gone Flyers. If you went Flyers, you would have won. And I was like,
Okay,
you know
well,
what?
fuck
Pharah.
you.
What?
So what do you sound like? Go Flyers!
Yeah. Well, I didn't. As soon as I said that, I was like, oh wait, I sound insulting, but you know, you're like, go
Okay,
Flyers.
to
you're
be
literally
fair,
going
a lot of
Flyers.
times they say that they're running like May Reaper, and you guys are running fucking like Hanzo Genji. Yes,
That's how
I'm
we
literally
run.
referencing you guys tonight. Oh, fucking donked on.
Yeah. And then I was like, no, Resmi. Then I was like, okay. And then it died again.
Yeah. It's okay to play ground Pharah if you're getting donked on by a Widow, just saying.
I did it for a while here, and then I was like, nah, dude, we flying.
I got this. It's okay, boys. I
Oh.
carry. I know carry.
It do be like that sometimes.
I play fair like once every 3 months.
Oh Jesus.
This guy was a fucking beast.
What is
the
that ball
JKC.
doing?
Yeah, this guy was really good.
What was he just doing? He was just sitting there. Was he just waiting, or?
I think he was waiting for his rollout cooldowns. He was like good at managing his cooldowns, like really good.
Right.
That's why he did so good on Zarya, because he's fucking insane with his cooldowns.
What was their skill average, by the way? Like their SR?
They were a 2.4, I think.
These guys are way higher than 2.4 as a team, I feel like.
Eh.
Or I
Most
don't
of their
know.
team wasn't. I wouldn't say most of their team was above that at all.
But like the way they played, I don't know, maybe it's just a
Okay.
couple of the people.
So, I'm gonna talk about your comp right now. I get why you went Widowmaker. Okay? You went Widowmaker because you want a sniper duel their Widow, yada yada yada. The only thing is, they are literally running 3 people who can absolutely fucking donk on you, not including the Widowmaker if you lose the sniper battle. It is not a good idea to play Widow to counter this Widow in this comp. Unfortunately, that's just the cold hard truth. Reaper is also not 100% the best option. He is viable just because of their tanks, but
Who do you propose? Like a McCree?
you guys are honestly not running a good comp right now. So, okay, so Reaper works as long as you have a good complementing DPS. As far as a complementing DPS goes, you guys cannot play with this Widow because their team can just dive the Widow and then come after your team, and it's a 5v6 every fucking fight. So swap off Widow and go. I don't want to say Tracer, but I kind of want to say Tracer. But McCree also works. And unfortunately, May also works. And I hate that I keep saying May. But May does work here. But, so the only thing is, there are like a few options. If you guys want to hard counter their DPS, then Reaper's not the pick. But if you want to hard counter their tanks, then Reaper's definitely the pick. So, like, you pretty much need to choose what your main focus is for this. If you want to ignore the Widow and kill their team and, like, force Widow to point, you can do that. And that's where the Reaper would come in. But if you want to go, like, straight dive this Widow, then you're going to have to go full dive Heroes. Which I don't really recommend because I think their dive's better than your guys' dive would be. The only reason I'd really recommend it is because they have low heal.
Have we really seen a dive though tonight? With
This team has not dove like once. I don't know why we haven't dove once, but the enemy team keeps doing a dive.
yeah.
But
I was just wondering because you said their dive's stronger than our dive, and I was like, what are we comparing it to though? Like,
this is based off assumption because dive is honestly more of like a synergy type deal. Because,
that's fair.
well, synergy between the tanks at the very least. And
Can
I
I
feel
give
like,
some-
yeah.
Can I? Oh Jesus, I'm gonna stutter a little bit here. Context for me here is I didn't realize you're actually going to get me to play, so I fully made myself a cup of tea, settled in, and you're like, all right, Maddie, you're in. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure.
No, you're totally fine. I was like, I'm just gonna get you to sneak in so we have a tank. But no.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think at this point too, unfortunately, like, I think most of the team was just over it. So you also got stuck with like a team that did not want to be here anymore.
I was so wanting to play because like I picked Ash, I was ready to play, and then I instantly got clicked by the Widow.
I am not gonna lie, I prefer you guys playing games like this because when you scrim up, you get used to getting punished for shit that you're not gonna get punished for in like
Yeah.
lower scrims. So like when you guys join the league, you're gonna be like, if you're used to scrimming higher teams, you're gonna notice that you do way better than teams your SR, because all of a sudden, oh, you don't have to play as carefully, you get away with it, and if you do play carefully, nobody touches you. Yeah, this is just unfortunate. So
She's on the
basically,
side, okay.
yeah, their Widow absolutely donked.
Oh, this was a weird series of events here. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
this whole thing was weird. So I'm trying to find like the right words to explain what happens here. Okay, again, Reaper's not the first pick I would do. Especially if they're not running full dive, they're running hog and ball torture. Which Reaper's not a horrible counter, but he's not the greatest counter into it. Honestly, if you went like McCree, it would really hurt their team because Ball wouldn't be able to dive much. And oh, stop jumping! Look, look,
But
look
it's
at the
fun
hops.
to go,
The hops! Yeah, so if you really want to hurt Hog and Ball Torture with like specifically what they're running, your tank line can deal with Hog, and you just have to worry about keeping Ball busy, and McCree is definitely like the best way to do that. I also do think Soldier's really good into Hog and Ball, just because Soldier is like a consistent DPS, right? Like he just
Even-
spams consistently. This is like a shit show. This is like, I don't even want to talk about what's going on. It's just
I literally got in my mech, turned around,
And,
and Joe
yeah,
was
they're
there. I
just
was like, okay.
absolutely donking right
Instantly
now.
demech. That was fun.
At this point, like, you guys are getting super staggered, and it's like I don't think there was really like a call for like a reset. Also, I really don't like holding low ground as Widow. Yeah, no, I think McCree would have been your best option as far as like what you should be running against this comp, just because this Echo is really stupid and kept dying to you as Reaper, but if this was like somebody who played Echo a little bit better, they probably would not have been dying to you as much. I say
Echo
probably,
wasn't
but you
the
never
one
know.
who was the healer.
No, that was SCI. Say.
Also, again, I really don't like this Ana positioning. If you're gonna be playing Ana versus like what they're running right now, first off, if there's like a really good Widowmaker and their Widowmaker was like pretty freaking good, she definitely wasn't bad, you're gonna need to play cornered to all hell. So like your head is not peeking out ever. I don't care. The only time your head is peeking out is if your tanks are fucking up there. Like 112%. If your tanks are like on top of, like if Widow's on main and your tanks are like on top of her, then you're free to peek. But like other than that, you're not peeking. It's like a super defensive way to play Ana, but it's a super, it like improves your survivability at all times. Also Omelet, your only job is to contest Widow right now. Like their Echo's not doing enough to where it's super concerning, but your only job is to contest Widow. Also, as Diva, you should definitely be contesting the Widow up here too, because their Widow was kind of donking. She was kind of, I don't want to say she was a hard carry, but she was definitely a carry. So like, I definitely think a big thing is like recognizing who their carries are and making sure that you are focusing on like keeping them dead the entire game. Trust me, it hurts like a bitch.
I have no idea what this Ryan was trying to do.
Yeah, I don't like that Ryan play right there. And then just like Ryan, just don't go into little holes like that. You need to like hold front. Like you need to hold front. Like you're moving with the front line. You are the front line. You're making the front line. And then yeah. Also like they're just. You guys held your ults for like a really long time, and
Yeah.
they were like using theirs pretty consistently. So it was also just like an alt differential.
Switching sides.
20 seconds. Assemble your heroes.
Ready. Ready for battle.
Okay. What? Where? Oh, this was so disorienting for a second.
3, 2,
Okay,
1.
before we start this,
Stop the
let's look
payload.
at where they're playing. Okay, first off, their Genji's all the way over there. Their tanks are not playing together at all. Their supports aren't even really close. And their Echo, you already know, is not going to stay here. So, like, they're playing pretty
two goes to
spread
3.
out. Okay, so I'm not going to lie, but I think dive would have been your absolute best option here. Just because of the way that they play this map.
This is the point where we had the tanks pushing.
Yeah, okay. Let me get my handy dandy little cart bitch thing out here. Let me find it first. Sparrow. Match view. I have to find it. I think it's towards the bottom.
Ryan, don't play cart. Like, seriously, don't. Second bottom line.
Yeah, that's true. There's a spot where I got mad at our supports because they couldn't figure out who was supposed to be. Right here. If it sounds counterproductive, I had to unbind jump for a while because I kept getting domed by snipers, and that so it actually kicks bad habits. And I told the Ryan to stop and unbind charge. Okay. Support.
Ryan, again, the charges. Watch them.
Yeah, I'm.
I love it.
I am not gonna lie. I like my favorite hobby is to drink before I do Sparrow's VOD reviews, and I just fucking roast them. But
Tanks,
lovingly.
holy hell, push, be aggressive. I love this.
I've been kind of mean to Sparrow in the past, but I do it with the utmost love. Okay, wait. Half-assed. I can never find it. It hurts my eyes. It's definitely in here somewhere though.
Can you copy it into like a Word document and then Control F or something?
You can use the search function in the top right almost.
Or you can do that. That works.
You can do it in like that specific channel too, I think.
Well, I did all this. So it's not. I think it was Junker that it was on. That's why it's confusing me. If I can find it. It's definitely a Junker map. I have so many fucking words here. Okay, that's Busan. Rialto. Kings Row. We're always Kings Row first. Oh, no, that definitely wasn't. It was definitely towards the bottom. Fuck. I'm gonna do that idea of just copy pasting it into a King's document. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Look at all my cool science projects.
So, were you measuring a bit of moles there, or?
It was for like a plant pathology class that I absolutely hated.
Oh, cool.
Control F. Fuck. I don't know how to. What's a support that we don't play? Zen. We don't play Zen a lot. Okay. Where the fuck is it? I've definitely, you know what? I bet it's in pinned messages. I know I pinned it at some point. Double Flyer versus Sniper. Okay. Dinkeldorf! I pinned it somewhere. What fucking team did I pin it in? It was definitely this one. I just don't remember the supports, otherwise I would say it out loud. What the fuck are the supports?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now. What
Okay,
you're
so
looking
it's the cart bitch hierarchy.
Why don't you just search for cart?
That is such a good idea. Why the fuck did I not think of that? Cart.
Who is cart bitch?
You're not cart bitch.
In
are you?
previous notes.
Fuck.
I've already emphasized who is cart bitch in the previous
Oh my
notes.
god.
Where
I
is
forgot I was
it?
muted.
Where did I put it? This is hurting.
Says
my
it was
eyes
in
now.
a previous note.
Okay,
Look,
so
I've already
cart bitches.
emphasized who is cart bitch in previous notes. Please refer to them.
Okay, where did I say that? I gotta figure out where I said that so that I can go up.
Why don't
from
you
there.
go to search on your Discord, search for cart bitch, and then put in this channel.
Yeah, you can be like search from user,
Okay, wait.
or you can just do that.
From.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do this.
undo that. Undo
No.
everything you just did. Get rid of from. Get rid of from. Okay, click the search. You see the from option? Click. I'll type your name. Okay,
Yeah.
now start typing other stuff like whatever, like cart bitch, or like
Cart
in chat. Like type in. I think it's in.
In.
Yeah, and then
Girl,
click whichever one.
cart. Bitch. Okay, well, that did not help me.
It highlights it. Scroll. Well,
But I said, where? Which previous notes? Why am I like this?
is that the same message?
Oh, right here, right here, right here. Move out of the way. Okay, unfortunately it goes Zen, Anna, Bap, Mercy, Moira, Lucio. Okay, so Zen's cart bitch. Unless there's no Zen, then it's Anna. Unless there's no Anna, then it's Bap. Unless there's no Bap, then it's Mercy / Moira. They're at like the same level. So it's dependent on who is more vital to the fight. If your DPS are more vital, then your Mercy's gonna be off cart. If your tanks are more vital to the fight, then your Moira is gonna be off cart. And Lucio's never on cart if you have a Lucio. Unfortunate but true. This is also super important because I was gonna point this out earlier. If you're pushing cart and the cart gets to where the fight is, then get off cart as Anna. Like move backwards and your team will be pushing cart / cart will be contested, so you don't have to worry about it until after the engagement. Because you don't want to be in the engagement as Anna, ever. Like, your goal should be to play as far back as possible. Okay, so this is just okay. I think that y'all would have benefited a lot. Oh, okay, y'all would have benefited a lot from a shield break. No, I'm not one to say Junkrat is a super good pick, but I think Junk would have been a good pick.
Did you see the maze?
Yeah, I just.
Sorry.
It's
mean
like,
to
it hurts
interrupt.
my soul a little bit. Reinhardt, never do that. I remember watching you while you were doing that, and I was like, he's not gonna do it. I had faith, and then you did it, and I lost faith.
What was
in
it?
humanity. The charge into the fucking
10
corner.
HP.
10
Suicide
HP
mission.
charge to
It's
the
fine.
corner. It literally hurt my soul. And you got debated by the fucking... I don't know if you saw it, but that bitch, this bitch right here, knew you were gonna do it and waved at you and jumped up. It was BM to the max and you fell for it. Yeah, no,
I tried to defense matrix that.
I don't think Reaper's the pick here either. I think
Look at how dramatic Echo's being there. Calm down.
I know you're like I know you have like a weird thing for Hanzo, but I think Hanzo would have been a good pick.
I just on all night I didn't know what to pick. I was just picking characters. I would have been happier if someone was telling me to pick their own character, honestly.
Well, I can't tell you to pick characters in games. It's against the rules.
You can't.
That's-
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like in the gaming mindset. I just couldn't get my.
It do be like
Into
that
the rhythm.
sometimes. I feel that. That was literally me last Sparrow scrim. I felt really bad. Actually, that was me
Yeah.
last Darth Tater scrim, and I felt more bad. But I also didn't feel that bad because I can do Ana like in my sleep. So I just felt bad when they made me get off Ana, and then I was like, I don't have the mind to like do this. Okay. So the thing I don't like about this is you guys start to push forward, but there's like 2 right here. And so then you start to correct your course, but there's 2 right here. So like Genji needed to be your main focus 100%. This player was honestly like their best player. Genji's got such a nice ass. Holy shit. This player is honestly their best player. Like this player and Anxiety were the 2 that were fucking you guys up the most. And you really needed to prioritize. That looks creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like Pillars of Flame.
Yeah, no. So Genji got ult like 7 times.
Yeah, I think I may have charged him quite a bit for that, to be honest.
I think everybody was charging Genji
Not
at this
gonna
point.
lie, I was really not expecting you to get me the so. Down with my cup of tea, I was
Shatter
like, oh shit, okay. Here we
were
go.
all just botting
was
out.
the biggest. Okay, wait. What is wrong with his fucking torso?
And his hands, everything is weird. And
His hands
hair.
like
That's a very
disconnected.
strange yoga position.
This like kind of hurts my soul a little bit.
What's
Look
with
how
his hand?
small-
Why is his hand so big? Go back
Right?
It's
out.
like a frisbee.
Look how small his
Just-
ankles
just-
are.
Just zoom out really quickly. Like go back around to that right side and then zoom out. Look how big his hand was.
His hands massive.
What is happening there? Why has he become Doomfist?
Right. I love how whenever he moves, his little ponytail weird thing always disconnects. It do be like that sometimes. Okay, but this is just a super bad shatter and should have never happened. What? Dude,
This is
feed
his
the
soul
Roadhog.
escaping his body. Oh, that looks so disturbing. No, I can't look at
does.
that. That looks like
Why
It
is
looks like
Arissa the
Arissa's
only
just
one?
laid down for a
Yeah,
nap, honestly.
she's like the only one that nothing weird happened to. Anyways, I want to come observe the Zen. Their Ana literally is not even in this fight. Zen always looks the coolest. Like he doesn't look weird. Like you could like totally screenshot this and it would be a cool background if I could angle it right.
You should do it.
Ah! It's gonna fuck me up. Okay. No. Point is, that was a really bad shatter. That's all I wanted to say.
that it's okay because we have a great yeeting diva bomb in a minute.
Also, I get why you were playing the Mei, but the Mei was like only gonna work if you played it a certain way, and you played it too frontliney when the Genji was like the biggest issue. And that's, I think, what you were supposed to be countering when you picked Mei. I don't know if that was your thought process, but it should have been. And y'all just kind of let the Genji donk on you, even though you had like the perfect opportunity to kill him. Like,
30 seconds remaining.
I was gonna say I don't know how we seem to keep being surprised that Genji was behind.
yeah, he was always behind. It should not
Like
have been
every
a surprise.
single time he was still behind, and it was like, oh yeah, no, there he is again.
See, and then you swap Kree, which is not a bad pick, but I honestly would have rather seen the Reaper switch than the Kree, or than the Mei. I just would have liked you to play Mei differently.
Big yeet.
That actually was massive because you killed both their supports, and then
That was
they
all
killed Tank back here.
Yeah, 100%.
So, what happens here?
We
They
cap, or we
Like-
we almost cap, and then they win.
like good little people. Wait, they don't rush in. And that is your guys' biggest downfall, is the fact that they knew enough to wait, and then they Genji Nano Blade. And at the end of, you know it. So at that point, either you need an Ana who consistently hits sleeps on nano Genjis, which is really hard to ask for, or you need a defensive ult because that Genji's fucking you guys up every time he gets Blade, and he gets Blade every fight. So that's honestly like a support thing that they need to figure out. That's a wall of text.
I think at the end of that though as well, I was still sitting on cart where I should have gone up and dealt with.
Yeah, I think there just needed to be a little bit more aggression there, but it was really hard with the tanks you were running because Rein can't, like, it takes him 10 years to get to high ground.
Mhm.
I'm gonna